Oh, I'm so sorry. I hit the. Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing? And how do you like our new intro music from Fire J Media?
Dude, I didn't even see that coming. You knew about that?
That was a surprise. I got that one. I was telling you about the surprise last week. That was a surprise. I'll play it again later
Ivan!
on during the show. Yeah.
Fucking Ivan. Hell yes, dude. That is so cool. Fire J Media once again coming through for us. Also, I'm feeling great, man. How are you tonight? I don't even know if I mentioned that part yet.
Doing good. I wanted to get your reaction on that on live since I held
Whoa.
that back. I got it actually on Thursday, so I've been sitting on it since Thursday, and I was waiting for that moment here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is fantastic. I owe Ivan. I'm going to get a hold of him after this. Wow, man.
Yeah,
Oh
I'll,
my
I'll play
gosh.
it later. If you hop on later on, I'll play it again because I love that intro, man. It's good. It has the clips of us, the interviews with the action, and I really like. I know it's funny too. We the logo at the end on the microphone, and also our logo has changed, unbeknownst to us. And when we hopped on, we have new fonts, new colors, and now a new intro music. So yeah, I just wanted to see what your thoughts on that video was because I loved it, man. It was awesome. It was perfect work that Ivan did.
Dude, that video is cool as hell. I'm really happy with that. I didn't see that coming. Holy crap. Yeah, the microphone and everything. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, that is a great start to this episode by far. All right. So you want to go into some news? We'll get started for the day.
Yeah, let's get it going.
All right. Well, hello to all the listeners out there. It is 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 p.m. on the West Coast. So Insomniacs, here we go. The first bit of news I wanted to mention was a rest in peace to Ryan Clemson. He was an OG GCW super fan who meant a lot to the community. I can't put into words how much it touched the community. I was around when the news hit, and I can't do anything more than just say I'm very sorry to hear this news, and to those who it really touched, we do send our condolences here at Game Changer Weekly.
Yeah, that was kind
Oh,
of a shocking news. I didn't follow him on Twitter, but like I got a lot of his stuff and I saw a lot of his posts and tweets and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a pretty shocking news. Someone that like I didn't really interact with him, but knowing of him online and just recently how he was tweeting like how he was saying he's excited to see everyone. Yeah, it's kind of shocking and a weird way to start that wrestling weekend.
yeah, he's East Coast family, East Coast GCW Brotherhood. I've talked to him quite a bit back and forth. He was just a fan. He found our show, and every now and then he'd shoot me a message, just wanted to talk here and there. So, yeah, he will greatly be missed, and I just wanted to make sure we devote a small amount of time also to him and for the listeners who do know this poor gentleman who passed away way too early. All right. So the next bit of news I want to go ahead and switch to here is the GCW will return to Japan August 12th, 13th, and 14th. This information was released just a couple of days ago. All right, Brant, what do you think? Here we go back to Japan again. DDT.
I'm
You're
excited.
DDT,
Yeah.
dude.
Yes, I'm actually happy they're working with DDT again. Get to see hopefully Chris Brooks, Mao, and the crew over there. And yeah, I'm excited. I always love when they go to Japan. I could always be guaranteed to see some violence and everything. But it's going to be a little different than working with what's it called DDT instead of Freedom. So I wonder how much ultra violence we are going to see, but I know they're going to be very entertaining shows when those two rosters get over and cross over and carry on. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it, and I just hope we see some ultra violence along with the craziness that DDT always brings.
And it's just like GCW, just around the world on the other side of it. It's DDT. That's what it kind of seems like. And same thing as GCW, you fall in love with the personalities there more than anything else. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That announcement went out just again, maybe a couple days ago. So it was a joint effort by DDT and GCW to release that news all at one time. Next, then, I just want to release here that Bloodsport 11 was also announced from Brooklyn, New York. There's not a lot of information on that one just yet, but I wanted to make sure we got that one in the news for just in case, somebody may have not heard about it yet. So that's all I have on the news side. Is there anything else you can think of, Brant, before we jump into our first review of the night?
I'm excited for Bloodsport. I kind of hope it does turn into its own little event, kind of multiple times throughout the year. Not too many, but like maybe 3 or 4. I think that it would be have its place there. And I mean, I'm interested to see what the talent they get for this one. I'm actually really looking forward to the one that they're doing in Japan because I think we talked about it last time. I'm a big Rampage fan, Suzuki, so I'm all over that one. I'm super excited, and it's like I said before, it's cool to see it's kind of now going on its own and maybe it will be its own little place. Maybe they'll add like a title to it and stuff like that. I'm interested. I always do like Bloodsport. I'm interested to see how it's going to be outside of the collective setting.
You ready to rock and roll, brother? Let's do this.
Yeah. Real fast though. Russell Dad's asked, is it the second or third time GCW's been to Japan? I actually think it's more than that. I think there's like 4 or 5 even at least, because it feels like they just went 2 times the last year, 2 years back to back anyway.
Well, I could look that up real quick. Let me see if I can get someone an answer here on this one.
Because I know
it may be a minute.
No, I'll fill in while you're looking that up, because I think they did. I know they went last year. I know they went the year before, and I want to say even the year before that, because I remember, or maybe not the year before that because of the whole COVID stuff. But yeah, maybe it is only 3 or 4 times in. But
okay, so I see 2 trips so far. I'm gonna keep looking here and see if I can find a 3rd or a 4th trip.
Before the pandemic, yeah, I was about to say I think they went one other time. I think that's when I kind of first saw Drew Parker for the first time.
So I found number 3. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I'm so sorry. I was talking over you there. Number 3 that I see was GCW's War Ready 2022, Freedom's GCW 13th anniversary, Dead on Arrival, and Planet Death. That was from September 26th of 2022. And then again, before that, there was actually some that were more recent. So far, I've seen 3 trips, and I'm just checking to see if there's a 4th right now. And there is not. So I believe there's been a total of 3 trips to Japan so far. So this should be trip number 4.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I was expecting it, and I'm kind of glad they haven't gone all around the world like how they did last year, because I think they're still I like how they're going to a lot more of the new cities this year. And I think I kind of was saying that last year, how I kind of wanted to see a little bit hit some more classic venues while also hitting a bunch of new towns. And I think we are going to see that. I'm excited. Anytime Japan gets involved, I always get excited, and especially I didn't know it was DDT until you said so. So that now I'm even kind of more excited to see a little different version of GCW in Japan.
Yeah, it was like this joint announcement, which was pretty cool. So yeah, Russell Dad's hello. Who else we got? Great One is already in here rocking with us. This will definitely be a fun evening here. All right.
And if you guys missed the intro, we got a new intro video. I will be playing that later on, because I know I kind of sprung it on everybody, but just in case people still want to see it, I will play it again later, because it is that cool. Once again, good work again by Ivan again, GCW. It's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, I totally owe that dude a thank you. I'm ready to rock and roll, brother.
All right. So our first show we are covering is GCW's Take a Picture from Talia Hall in Chicago, Illinois. And yeah, back in Talia Hall, which seems like it's like the 3rd time this year even already, but I'm always excited. The venue's nice. They allow some violence there, and the crowd is always hot. So I was really looking forward to it. And like, as we were talking about last week, the card was both for this weekend, both shows had very, very strong cards. So I watched these shows late after AEW shows. So I rewatched them again today just to get some better notes. And yeah, I was more impressed the second time than I was the first time, and got a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
There's a whole bunch to talk about. I don't know if you remember last week, or it was 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how the possibility of lighting the ring and then turning down the lights for the crowd could possibly be a nice little effect. Opening up the show, Talia Hall, the ring is lit and the crowd is dark. And yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I really do like it, especially if it's a smaller crowd. You might be able to hide it a little bit. Once you get past 2 rows within that light, once the light, you can't see anything into that darkness. So I'm a big fan of that. And I've always liked that it feels like the ring is a feature when that hot light is on it. Gold was also still helping people their seats. That really does say a lot about him and the referees who help out live during the show. You know, cameras are running. There he is showing people, hey, you're over here in these 4 seats. I'm like, wow, how cool is that? You know, constantly working like they do. That's all I got on this beginning show. I mean, everything was just, I love Talia Hall.
Yeah, me too. And we will start off hot as the first matchup of the evening was Bang & Matthews going against Injustice. I'll let you go through your notes first because I think we do have a couple of similar ones,
Some
but I'll
similar?
let you go first. Yeah.
All right. So I wrote down here that once Bang and Matthews come out, they had a much larger and louder reception than last time. They're on top of their game right now, and it's even showing in the fan department. So I wanted to really mention that. They usually get a hometown opening, but this one was much more enthusiastic and louder, and it felt like they just had extra fire under them. So I'll take that where I can get it. Oliver and Reed united. This is where I figure you may want to talk more. The old team Injustice is back together. Also, Oliver said that a new name may be coming a couple days ago. I want to kind of throw it back to you and see what you have to say about this, the team coming back together again.
I love them. Obviously, seeing them back together, I wrote so fucking cool seeing Injustice back, and especially now that they both have grown so much since the last time we saw them like as a tag team. They are both just super incredible right now, and it came across in this tag match. Like this tag match was such a hot opener, bodies flying around everywhere. It was a fun matchup. The team Injustice, I didn't hear. So I've been like off Twitter basically too this whole week with AEW, so I could avoid the spoilers on GCW. So I didn't hear that they were coming up with a different name, which I like. I would like to see them kind of do a different name, but I am kind of partial to the team Injustice. I also like that. But if they stay tag team then and get a new tag team, I would be excited to see it. I don't know what they should be called, but they just was awesome tonight. As you said, Bang & Matthews, they're on another level. And this was, and I think Emil or Dave Prazak, one of those commentators even said that this was like the best they've seen Matthews and Bang working together. And you saw it, I saw it, and I wrote it down. And it's just, this match was fire start. And I was happy to see Injustice warm up before going against Violence is Forever as well.
Oh, that's a good thing to say. Like a little bit of a warm up there. Yeah, Bang & Matthews, man. That I was wondering how they were going to bounce back from the Bang Bros name, and I didn't know. I knew that was going to be a little bit of a setback. I don't know how much. They're just rolling with it, and they're doing a damn good job too. I noticed that Emma was pulling double duty on commentary and announcing also. That's some of my favorite work when we have Emma on commentary. I was watching the match. I'd also like to see Bang versus Myron Reed again. I don't know I don't know what happened, but they just stuck out. I'm like, these two can go, and they're such great dancing partners that I had to write a note just on that. So I know they're both, well, Bang and Matthews are always in tag teams, but if we could get those two arranged maybe down the road in a number 2 or 3 match, it'd be kind of awesome just to see what they're capable of, because in ring, what they showed us was outstanding. My last note, I have This Is Awesome chants. At this point, I'm only going to write the chants that really matter. Once This Is Awesome comes up, that is kind of like the fan stamp of approval on the match. And yeah, we got that right from the beginning in this opener. Let's see here. Our winners here were Jordan and Myron. They pulled off a win with an acid bomb into a cutter, which is basically a double acid bomb. And I am enthusiastic about the future of Injustice. What's your thoughts, man?
Same thing. I was hoping for obviously a title change the next night. Anytime they could work together is fine, even as opponents. Or I've always just been a big fan of Myron Reed too. So seeing him get shots all over the place, not just in GCW, but obviously in GCW, I'm always excited for it. And I wrote that they need to run this back ASAP. Like this tag team match was awesome. I would like to see a feud even with this. Like I think we said the same thing with Bang & Matthews with East West Express. Like they should have a feud, but even with Myron Reed stepping in instead of Nick Wayne, like that's all 4 killed it. And it was a hot start. The crowd was hot. I thought it was a perfect way to start the show in Talia Hall.
Last thing I'll say is just this match wouldn't have looked as good a year ago. There's been that much tremendous growth in the last 12 months. We've seen Bang & Matthews come out in their hometown, not like this. And then Injustice just coming back together is just a dream come true for fans like yourself of both these guys. So Yeah, great
Yes.
one even said here. Injustice getting a new name makes a ton of sense because they just kind of inherited it from a faction MLW. Great point. Absolutely great point. Brant, you obviously agree too.
Yeah, I kind of like how they miss. Like, I think they mashed the musics together too. From what I was kind of listening to
Yeah.
this morning, it seemed like they like. 'Cause I heard like Young, Dumb, and Broke, and then I'm like, and then I heard something else. I'm like, wait, was that a mess up? Like, what the hell's happening? But the mashup of the music was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm all for the team of Injustice or whatever they're going to be called if they move forward as a tag team or as singles. I'm excited that we just still get to see Maya and Reed in a GCW ring as often as we are now. Our second matchup of the evening was Allie Katch versus Megan Bain. I know this, we talked about this. This was a match I was really looking forward to see a more serious side and a good wrestling match from Allie Katch with Megan. And that's exactly what we got here. Yeah, I thought Megan Bain once again looked super impressive, just throwing alley catch all around the ring at points during the match, and I really strong wrestling from both of them, and I got exactly what I wanted from this match, and I was glad to see Bain have continue impressive performance and alley catch have another impressive performance with Megan.
Yeah, Allie showed up for this match, and I thought it was fantastic to see. Fans were also solidly behind Allie, especially early in this one. Megan, she was more stoic, stronger, more dominant, is what I had here overall in the match. Interesting spot. Megan slapped Allie, and the fans actually liked the heel work from Megan. I'm going to get a little more into that in a second, but 2 matches in the show, and we had 2 This Is Awesome chants back to back. So this match also got the fan stamp of approval about halfway through. Megan wins with a tombstone pile driver. She's a heel who's not getting booed when she wins. People are cheering instead. And I'm starting to notice this is the 3rd match in a row it's happened where she comes in with boos and she kind of wins them over. But I put down here that both women did a great job and should be commended. But I do want to kind of come back to that. It's interesting when you can find a wrestler who comes out as a heel and wins over the crowd as a heel. This has happened now with every one of these matches. And there's something there. There's something special there.
It feels like they're actually even pushing her too. She's gotten all these
They are.
wins and like they're all like, but she's looked impressive every single time. But like it's definitely deserved. And yeah, I was happy with it. It was everything I asked for it to be last week. And both women stepped up and delivered a really strong match. And I was happy to see it. All right, you want to
Let
go
me
into the
know.
next part?
Yeah, so this is going to be some really interesting stuff here. General Manager Cardona comes out with Jimmy. He's laughing as he goes around the ring that there was a milk crate as the steps. They finally get into the ring, and Cardona says that he has 3 announcements. So announcement 1 was Chicago fucking sucks. We knew that was going to come out of Cardona. Announcement 2, Cardona says he's a man of the people, talking to GCW superstars and the GCW universe, which I thought was a nice touch. Weed is now officially legal in GCW. Fans went completely crazy over that. Jimmy whips out a joint and gives it to Cardona. And then he gives him a lighter, and Cardona goes to light it. And then, of course, he throws it down. He says he'll never do drugs. Of course, we all know there's no hope with dope. So announcement number 3, and this is where it gets interesting. He announced that Blake is in Japan. He's doing some flippy, floppy, spotty shit. That happens to be the BOSJ, guys. But Blake's doing great over there. So Cardona decided that Blake is going to be stripped of the GCW world title about 10 to 11 days before he hits the 1-year mark. June 2nd at COS will now be a gauntlet to determine our next GCW champion. So what we're going to be looking at here is we're looking at the Cardona game-changing gauntlet of survival. That's what we're looking at. So now the title's vacant. I just wanted to run down some numbers. This is Vacant's 3rd title run at GCW, the first being November 2001, then December 2004 until November 9th, 2013 for a total of 3,235 days. This is Vacant's first run in the GCW modern era. I hope everyone got the joke there. So Joey came out. He is not happy that his match has been dissolved. If anybody remembers the week beforehand, he had to beat an opponent, I think it was Megan Bain, to get the shot at the world championship again. And then here comes this fuckery this week. So He says that Joey can be the final entrant in a Cardona game-changing gauntlet of survival if he wins the next match. Deja vu. Music hits, and out comes Pero, who is, I think, getting a nice little push also right now at GCW. And I like what he's doing. And that's where we go into our next match.
All right, before we go in this next match,
Yeah.
I gotta get a lot of bitching and complaining off my chest right now. Oh,
all right.
Okay. First of all, I'm gonna agree right here with Great One. He says, I generally think this idea of stripping Blake makes no sense. Cardona and Blake have been allies for a while now, and Blake has been a very defending champion otherwise. I am 1,000% in agreement right there. I fucking hate them stripping Blake of the title. Like, he has defended that title more than any other title that's been being defended in GCW. And he's defended it more recently than we have Rena, who's been the ultraviolet champion now for a long ass time, but this year's only defended it twice in really one ultraviolet match. So in almost 6 months, that's about to have been defended twice. Maki Ito's been champion since the collective, or a week or two before collective, and she hasn't even she defended it one time too. It's like, out of all the titles to do this shit for, why Blake's? I get why, like, as Joey Wood says here, that Blake's having a really good, strong run at Best of Super Juniors, and they're letting him get a shot, which I'm happy for. But selfishly, it's like, why? I don't understand. Like, there's been other belts. It hasn't been that long since he last defended it. And let's say, like, he's going to be there a long ass time. But I think that's just the unperfect way to end Blake's whole title run. The whole thing, I think, has been misbooked, in my opinion. And now, especially, they're going to do this to kind of save face when they could have done a lot of cool stuff during Collective Weekend and all those other missed opportunities that since happened since then that could have led to cool moments that would help elevate a lot of wrestlers. I hate it. I was losing my mind when I first read it. I'm lost my mind hearing it. I don't like it. Like, and that Great One said too. You got the Blake and Cardona had like a little friendship and teamship a long time ago now, but in GCW that they were working together and seemed to be partners. And now Cardona's just doing this. I hated it. I don't like that way to get the belt off Blake. I don't know which way to say it. Like, if he better not show up for 2 months that at this point now to make me even appreciate any of this decision, because if he's just going to miss like 2 or 3 shows, like, why not just do what we've been doing now? Have every other belt kind of be defended, and then let Blake come back when he's back and continue his run and just fill in the time space. But I am so mad, as you can probably tell.
No, that's okay. Looking at the situation, chances are, Blake is going further in the BOSJ than probably expected. That's good for him from a career perspective. I'm assuming then he wouldn't be able to make the next show, and then that's where this decision was made. Unfortunately, even if you don't like Blake, given his character, I would have to say he's such a good guy and such a nice guy. I'm 100% sure this is not how he wanted it to end. However, given the circumstances and given the fact that Blake has a pretty good temperament on him and a really good head on real life, shoot stuff here. I don't know how many others you could do that to who would take it probably as well as him. Now, I'm looking forward and beyond. At some point, he'll be able to come back and say, I never lost the title. So, I mean, we're looking forward to that storyline because we have to see that that's coming. But outside of that, that's not the ending we all wanted. We don't like the guy's character. We don't like the guy's character. But as an individual, I do really want to see him succeed. So I'm hoping whatever's going on right now, he's going to see success in that. And when he comes home, we're capable of tying up all these loose ends that we kind of just created. But it looks like we needed something for the next show, and we would have blown out that main event. You know how it is in independent wrestling, man. You got to roll with the punches. So I get your point, though. I get your point.
I'm going to go
and
back
it looks
to
like
right
a lot
here.
of fans felt the same way.
I'm going to go back to this one right here. They left
Yeah.
the GCW tag titles on Los Macizos. And if you go like to the Extreme title, that was dormant for all those years where PCO had it. Same thing with the women's title that Deanna Perrazzo had. That's just like,
Yeah.
and Brett has stated it multiple times, like he doesn't strip. He doesn't like to like vacate or take away or strip. Like it has to be earned. Like he hates doing that, but this just goes against everything. I don't know. Like I get like, and realistically, yes, I'm
Yeah.
happy for Blake. I'm glad he's killing it there. I think I even said last week they better be careful. He's going 4-0 and over there as a gaijin in the tournament. They're gonna keep him there for a little bit. They said, but
Yeah.
I booking wise, I've been bitching. A lot of his title run was poorly booked. Collective was horribly booked, in my opinion, regarding the title belt. And then now this is how it's going to end. I just think it's fitting, but in a shit way for Blake. And as a fan, I'm not liking it. Like, yeah, I can look forward to the belt, but like, I don't know. I didn't like it at all. I'm not like the gauntlet should be interesting, but then I'm like, what's going to happen after that? I don't know. I just feel like it could have been a lot done a lot better, or let Blake come back when it's time, when it's his time to come back, and then have him continue the run. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too excited for this gauntlet match, to be honest with you.
Well, if what you said is true, which of course it is, Lauderdale does not like to just strip people. Also, Lauderdale's the type that if he puts a belt on you, it's going to be on there for a while. If you've been a GCW fan for any amount of time, you're going to see we don't flip belts every show to someone new. If you have a new champion, chances are that new champion will stay there for quite a few months, if not longer. So that's something that's really interesting. WrestleDad said, who would both of you personally want to win the gauntlet match? That kind of goes into the next thing I was going to ask you, my friend. Do you want to kind of do a little 8-man gauntlet fantasy booking between me and you and see what comes out of it? You into it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you first, because I don't know if you have any stories or anything, or do you just have 8 people? I'm kind of curious who you have, man. Who do you have in your 8-man gauntlet? I know that's a lot of people too.
All right. So I'm using like just realistically off GCW people I would like to, and like it makes sense to like get pushed. Like this is like what I kind of hope to see. I have Jordan Oliver, obviously. I think he's deserves to be in there. Joey Janela is obviously in there. I would throw Speedball in there just because of all the work that he's been doing, and having him just having the opportunity to go for the world title, I think makes sense and would be a cool little thing to see if he does win. Nick Gage, obviously, I think for a lot of reasons there, he deserves to be in there. And then I kind of got like 4 heels there. I think Charles Mason should definitely be in there just as a heel and kind of give him a little purpose. Manders, I guess Manders not really a heel, but he can work heel when need be, and I think he's put in the work. And with my next pick, Manders and Perro, but they both could put on a world title match. They both have been doing excellent work as of late in GCW and kind of getting pushed. And Jimmy Lloyd, I think, makes sense booking wise, throwing him in that gauntlet just because being a Cardona lackey, but he kind of is excelling in his role right now. And yeah, that would be my 8 right there.
All right, then. Okay, let me go ahead and just kind of whip these things out here. You know me, I kind of always do too much. Okay, so here's how mine is going to be set up. I would do it like this. I would have draws for the entry number in the tournament, almost lottery style. My first match would be Masha versus Gringo Loco. That's match number 1. I was going to do that because I feel like real wrestling sets the tone for the tournament. So I felt like Masha Gringo sets that tone. Match number 2, Gringo advances versus Microman. This is where I was going to have a lucha, also kind of a fun match. Then Micro advances. Number 3, Microman versus Ali. I was going to consider this was the fun match right before things get serious. I also considered this the breather match for Micro before he goes into the next one. SDL interference gives Micro the win because the next opponent will be Microman versus Cardona. So SDL is already interfering in match 3 so that Cardona's first opponent was Microman instead of Ali. He thought he would get some kind of a benefit there. Cardona enters the tournament. He's going to get tons of heat for the amount of beatdown that he puts on Micro. So that means Cardona advances. Match 5, Cardona versus Nick Gage. I wrote it so Gage is the face who's beating up Cardona for hurting Micro. This is where the fans kind of feel like they get a little payback mid-tournament.
You think Cardona's going to be healthy?
That's my way. So what my swerve was that Cardona was going to be like, oh, guess what, guys? I'm in the tournament too. And anyway, that was one of my ideas. So that's kind of where I have it in here. Again, this is my head, so it's never really clear. But Cardona also cheats against Nick Gage with SDL's help. That gives us our next match, Cardona versus Jimmy Lloyd. This is match number 6. I feel this one's just going to be a finger poke of doom. And because of that, match 5 and 7 is going to have to be long, because match 6 with the finger poke of doom is just going to be a bullshit match. Match number 7, this is the main, Cardona versus Joey Janela, GCW World Championship. Cardona explains that he's the GM and Joey has no chance. We have SDL and Lloyd laughing at ringside. The long match is all over the venue. Joey pins. Cardona quickly argues for a restart. That's where Brett gets involved. His lawyers just brought him a copy of Matt's contract. Cardona's duties only lasted until his injury was over. He's not allowed to be a wrestler and a general manager at GCW. He gave up that right the minute he entered the tournament. The Cardona era is over. Matt argued he didn't know this. He begs for one last opportunity, just this one restart. As Cardona's begging, Joey grabs Cardona's internet belt and gets ready to attack. Brett agrees to the restart. Matt turns around and gets hit with the belt. He's out cold. Joey covers for 3. Joey's welcomed everyone to the bad boy era. So that's where I would put that. Oh, well, here's my swerve. From here onwards, Cardona is going to act injured to stay general manager. So that's kind of where I put that. I do like Mance coming in towards the end there, but that's how I walked that one. I had too much time and boom. So
I like that though, like the how they get out of the contracts. Like that's a smart little way.
You can't
like that one.
A GM and a wrestler at the same time, according to GCW rules. You just can't. That's double dipping. So he might say, the minute you pass through those ropes, you fucked yourself, buddy. You're a wrestler again, and your rules are stripped. And he finds out this between all those matches. So yeah, I thought it would be kind of cool. Joey P. Wood, is the slam dunk Joey here, or does GCW swerve us? What you think?
I am praying for a swerve. Like I don't know. Like right. Joey win. If Joey wins and then Mance comes out, I'm fine with that. Like I don't know. I just don't think Joey should be the champion right now. I don't know. Like I like Joey. I just think he could just keep on doing what he's doing. Have the spotlight matches with the big names. I go 25 minutes and go all over the place. Keep doing that. You don't need the world title to be involved with that, and you can still do your thing. But I think they kind of did book themselves in the corner with them saying it's his last damn chance to be champion. And I don't know. Like I hope it is someone else. I hope it is completely not out of completely left field, but I do hope it kind of makes sense and it leads us to something cool. But I don't know. I'm scared. The booking of the world title lately has not. I don't have great confidence in what they're going to do to book themselves out of this. What I think is a mess that they kind of created themselves and kind of backfired. They kind of gambled here, having Blake. That's why. That's the only reason I was saying lose it at Collective, with Collective being the WrestleMania weekend. Then you don't have to worry about something like this happening, where this kind of happened during the beginning of Blake's run as well, where he had a back out of GCW shows as champion to take another booking on late notice. And I just think could have been avoidable, should have been avoided. And unfortunately here we are now. And I don't know. I'm not excited for the gauntlet, I guess.
You poor
guy.
Yeah. Okay. So listeners, this is one of those rare times where he and I differ in opinion. So it's kind of cool. Brant, I do agree with you. He doesn't need the title. Where he's at is so his fandom is so strong, and his character and what he does is so strong. He doesn't necessarily need the title. Where I differ is I would like to see him have a title run. Again, does he need it? No, but could the fans use it and maybe be a face amongst all these heels in the company? Maybe. Should he have one run before he leaves GCW? Yeah. So I don't know when a better time to plant a tree is, either yesterday or today. So that's just where we differ, and that's perfectly cool. I forgot that you're like not into a run right now. Maybe later, but just not right now the way it is, correct? Or you're
Yep.
saying
Yeah.
he doesn't really
I
need
think
it.
there's no. You hit it spot on. I
Okay.
don't think now. I think now there's just with all the stories and like the momentum that other wrestlers. I think there's just more deserving people other than Joey right now that could be doing a lot of cool stuff. That I don't see Joey being a champion. What's going to be different than Joey not being the champion? Everything's going to be the same.
Gotcha.
So if it's going to be the same, just do your own shit off to the side without the belt. Let other people do cool stuff and have cool stories and opportunities with the belt that will elevate them where the belt's not going to elevate him. And I don't think he's going to elevate GCW being GCW champion at the moment either. So I don't know. I want to see like a fresh face. If obviously Blake's getting stripped of it, I want to see fresh face. Mance could go on a run if somehow, some way, like Mance uses his whatever cash in at during this, I would be fine with it. But Joey, at the moment, I don't think so. Maybe if Mance wins it and then Joey is like the one of the faces that has to fight GCW back for Mance because Mance is destroying it, then yes. But as of right now, I'm not too thrilled on that thought.
I I think this is a situation where Joey being champion is best when we do have, say, an evil GM or someone that's above authority, especially when we know that there's not many above Joey in GCW. That's just, how it is. You were talking about other challengers. WrestleDads wrote here, Pero deserves a title shot. I don't know if he's gotten one, but that would be interesting to see Pero and Blake go at it before that situation had kind of went the way it did. Also, great one. What if Mance cashes in and thus the title is defended in the Cage of Survival? You know what? I'm all for it, man. I haven't even had a chance to dig into all the ideas, but I thought Joey wins and then Mance challenges for 5 or 10 minutes. Everybody's booing because Mance now finally won, and I don't think it'll happen. But there's always the opportunity that Cole Radrick cashes in his brass ring. So we could see all kinds of shit go down in one night. And they did book themselves so that we do have 2 direct challengers right now. I still feel it's going to go on the tag team championship for Cole's, but just letting you know that he has total control of where that can be used.
I can see Mance losing Cage of Survival against Effie and then showing up like the next day, like all. Oh wait, no, Cage of Survival is the second day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
well,
yeah,
he loses and he comes back all bloodied and I still get the last laugh. Fuck you, I'm still winning the world war as now the new world champion. But yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work out. I'm interested, but I'm not like excited or looking forward to kind of what I was kind of looking forward to Collective Weekend. But Cole Cashin would be relevant. Yeah, later on this show. Yep. Yeah, I kind of have a little bit of like that later on.
Yeah, it's definitely weaved into the storyline. So yeah, we're definitely getting later on in this review on that one. Cool thought there. Okay, is there anything else I can think of in regards to this? Yeah, I just thought that with Joey, maybe having the evil GM would be good right now. You've got the Stone Cold versus the evil Vince McMahon character kind of thing. And again, with Joey, it would be all flowers and happiness unless he has something to challenge him. And we're going to need something big to challenge him. So it almost seems like Cardona may have to be in his role. Otherwise, we know that in Joey's atmosphere, everyone above a certain level is just all eating at the same table. So it's going to be hard to find him proper opponents. So yeah, I do like having that GM situation dangled above his head. And I know the fans can get behind and rally behind Joey just like they did with Stone Cold. We may have something there.
Yeah. All right. Well, that leads us into now the next match, which was Joey versus Pero. I was happy to see Pero get another singles opportunity and another big match without the other members of Rich and Powerful. And yeah, he delivered. Pero delivered a good match against Joey. And I have a similar note than what you have, but I'll piggyback off of you.
Alrighty, here. Where do I want to begin in my notes? How about at the beginning? This was a quick start to the match. It was about a 9-minute match. Joey was highly motivated. Brett and Cardona both jump on commentary. Brett is not thrilled that he doesn't have a world champion right now, and he felt he was caught by surprise. Laughing here that Cardona tried to sell a WWF WCW style phone hotline. Let's see, what other quotes do I have here? He can't be the face of the company. He's missing a tooth. I thought was funny. Columbus is an F town. Another great quote. Brett foreshadows that Cardona has a greater plan to fix the championship in his favor. I like that foreshadowing. Both call back to a spot at Terminal where Perro basically picked up Joey and threw him against a pillar. I don't know if you remember, there was the show at the Terminal where Perro picked up Joey and made that blood smear. They did the same exact thing. So they did a little callback. I don't know how many picked it up. Joey suplexes Perro from the top rope and through a door. Joey follows with a huge double foot stomp for the win. Joey is now officially the final entrant in the gauntlet. And the way things change weekly, who knows if that'll be any good by the time the next show rolls around. But
by the time the end of this show goes, our show is, I think that changes. I liked Brett and Cardona on commentary. That was gold. I loved it. That was added so much to everything, like the fighting, and wait, I wish you would have talked to me beforehand. Like, oh, we'll talk afterwards about how many people in the gauntlet. Like, I loved their interactions on commentary. That was just a very, very cool thing to have throughout this match, and I enjoyed that like a lot in the background of what was going on with Joey and Perro.
You know, I like the fact that Prazak sat there while they kept rotating color commentary in. I'm a big fan of the changing voices and the different dimensions of how each one thinks. I like how Emil has his approach. Then Brett has a completely different approach. Also, when Brett's on the microphone, I tend to listen a little more to commentary, you know, because you kind of want to get into the brain of the gentleman who's really doing all of this. And sometimes if you listen closely, even to Prazak, there's foreshadowing going on. So hardcore fans, pay attention to that.
I was gonna say that, like, Brett was kind of like trying to tease, like, this feels like a setup. He said it once, like it kind of fell off the hand, and then he mentioned it a second time, and you see like Prazak kind of caught on to kind of keep that momentum going and telling that story. So I think Prazak did a very good job professionally on the mic there to kind of pick up where Brett was slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, Prazak is very well. Brett and Prazak are very outward when it comes to giving out what's going on. They like to get it out there so you can really hear it. There's not a lot of subtleties sometimes in what they say there. So Perro and Broski Jimmy started beating on Joey Janela after this match. Joey gets slammed across a bunch of chairs the bad way. I hate that move. That's never going to go well when you take the backs of the chairs and put them against each other. You're basically taking the body's weight and slamming it down on the spine on the chairs. So yeah, Joey goes down. I mean, really down. Medical, Galt, Perch, and Max Recon are all attending to Joey inside the ring. You could see he's having a rough time getting out of the ring. At the same time, you can guess there's a little bit of a scurrying going on after that. Microman's music hits. Honestly, GPW, zoom in on Perro. Don't show a team of people attending to Joey in the ring during this time. Perro literally had a pose going on. I would have zoomed in on him so you don't see an entire crew working on one of our big stars, and he can have a hard time even moving while we're trying to now focus on Microman. So if you can, yeah, I would say let's not show that injury, and those are really rare anyway. So maybe that's why that showed up like that. Microman hits the ring. Perro misses a dive at Micro, and out he goes. And that was basically the start to our next match. Do you have anything to say about this before we started, or are you good?
I love the sequence, the last couple sequence of segments, as it told the story throughout the entire time, and then there was no downtime, and then just went right into the next match, and it made a lot of sense. And I always love when they do that, but that one just felt really special because of all, like, I think even praise like what a 15 minutes this has been, and Cardona was still out there for all this time, which I said I wanted to see him still showing up on shows and being all over it, because just because he can't wrestle, he could still do a lot of cool things for GCW. And like, this was another segment, and I just loved how they just go, and it was awesome. And yeah, next match, it starts right up. Micro Man versus Broski Jimmy Lloyd. And I thought this was a fun match for Broski. Broski. And loved all the little light tape, the light tubes, and the little chairs, those spots. I enjoyed, and this was a nice, fun comedy after all the serious kind of storytelling that happened heading into this match. So I was enthusiastic of how this match played out.
Yeah, this was a fun match. Don't expect much. It was only 5.5 minutes long. Micro started this match out hot. Jimmy, with Cardona's help, finally got the upper hand about a minute or so in. I was laughing that we have tiny chairs, which elicited "you sick fuck" chants from the fans. Micro sabooed a chair at Jimmy at one point. Jimmy suplexed Micro through the chair and broke it. I thought that was also a really fun little thing. We have Micro going hardcore. Jimmy has a mini light tube he brought from underneath the ring. Micro ends up going ultra violent and busted the tube on Jimmy. He follows with a big splash from the second rope for 3. In this one, I just put total entertainment. Cardona walks off mad that Micro used weapons, but he never said it during the match, which I think could have garnered some heat there.
I liked how when Cardona was on commentary, he asked like, "Are they allowed to use the doors and the chairs?" And like Preza's like, "You're the damn general manager. You make the rules. You tell us." Like,
yeah,
I enjoyed that part of it, and yeah, that was a fun 2-3 match sequence and segments, and they told a lot of story, and that was a very well produced bit of television there. All right. Our next matchup of the evening is for the tag team championships. As the champions, Violence is Forever defended against Los Desperados, this time with Arez and Latigo. I was stunned to hear Prazak say that Violence is Forever have the most title defenses in GCW history, which I thought was shocking, but then I guess not. As I was kind of saying with the Blake, it feels like Blake's and the tag team champions are the only belts being defended at this time, and they're almost defended on every single show. So, while at first I was stunned, I'm not shocked because they have been the workhorses in the tag division as of late, and it's really the only title being defended at the moment. So, it makes a lot of sense, and it was just a cool stat there that Prazak threw out, and it caught my ear.
Yeah, so I'm looking here at a total of 8 championship defenses over 207 days. So they've had the titles now over half a year. It feels like that too. All right. So good job on timing from Emil. Violence is Forever's entrance. He did it just right so that the minute he finishes, the chorus in your head, like the chorus rang out. So I really thought that was cool. And you could even see Kevin Koo come over and be like, dude, you lined it up perfectly. I wrote here in my notes, I love Lucha. Just wanted to say that. Violence is Forever was more verbal in the ring. Koo seems livelier than his last few events. Violence is Forever also did a good job adapting to the lucha style of Los Desperados. Amazingly, tag rules were mostly respected in this one. Violence is Forever hit Chasing the Dragon for the win in a pretty lengthy 13.5-minute match there against Los Desperados. And I thought it was well fought.
Yeah, I wrote it was a really fun tag match and another successful defense for Violence is Forever and good momentum going into the next night, going against Injustice. I appreciate it and I liked it. Yeah, and Latigo and Arez, that was like the first time I really seen them just be by themselves as a tag team, and they looked really good too. Real fast, Russell Dad asked, how many GMs has there been in GCW? I think Cardona is the only one, really.
Yeah, he's the first one.
Yeah.
Good. It's good. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I think about it like, wait, back in the day, nope, it was still just the one.
Wow. Yeah, 13.5 minutes. I think that was a good match.
Yeah. All right. Our next matchup is Dark Sheik versus Kylie Ray. I am always happy to see Smiley Kylie back in GCW. She had the crowd behind her with the Pokemon song. Sheik going heel during the match was kind of surprising, but it made sense considering the opponent, Kylie Ray, and all the love that she got in Chicago. And I thought this was a really, really good match between the both of them. And I wasn't doubting it was going to be. And Kylie Ray and Sheik showed some good chemistry in the ring.
Okay, so I wrote here that Kylie's character is genius. I don't know how many have watched her, but she comes in happy, and sometimes she slowly digresses during the match into a nasty heel. That is just fantastic. Sheik was out and always has a different outfit. I can't remember what this one was, but I thought it was cool too. Wasn't it like a speed racer kind of? I don't know.
I remember it was white. That was
Is that
there we
Brett
go.
comes
Team
on
Rocket.
air.
Here we go.
Janela. Yeah, Janela is injured. He was taken to the hospital in the back, but yeah, Brett stays on for commentary. What do we have here? What was the message?
Sorry. The Sheik's outfit was Team Rocket.
Team Rocket. That's what it was. It looked really awesome because I saw the big red R with the white. You know, I got to give it up for Sheik. Sheik always has some kind of an awesome, get up going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, appreciate all the hard effort because there's a lot of effort into creating gear. If you don't know, there's a lot into it. I like talent talking with Dave on commentary. I know that I mentioned that earlier, but I feel like I get to know the wrestler a little better. And it's all about connection with the fans and the wrestlers. So just letting that be said. Sheik did an old school pendulum. I don't know how long listeners have been listening, but a while back, a year and a half ago, I was big on the pendulum, man. For some reason in GCW, I don't know if you remember, Brent, but there were pendulums like every show for like 10, 11 shows in a row somehow, or 5 or 6 shows. So yeah, awesome for Dark Sheik to break out the old school pendulum again. I really appreciated that one. So in our ending here, Kylie Ray beat Sheik with a crossface into a crucifix pin. That was pretty impressive. Kylie didn't go heel, like I just said, but I still feel like you do. She was a rare treat, and I tried to appreciate every minute that she was in the ring because you don't see her very often. And she looked great. She looked great out there.
Her in-ring work is always incredible. Like that's why whenever she takes the breaks, like I kind of get disappointed because she's so really talented in the ring. And as you said, her character, like it could stay the smiley Kylie, it could get to murder death Kylie, it could go to heel Kylie in the middle of a match, and she just turns on that mean face, and she's killing it. And I was really happy to see her get the victory and leave with a smile on her face. Good match for both of them. Our next match is a big change of pace as it is the Rejects. Reed Bentley and John Wayne Murdoch going against Zilla and Nick Gage. Wow. This was just a brawl, and I was glad. Love to see the action all over, the doors being flung all over, broken. Zilla going 1,000 miles an hour. I think even Brett made comments like, yes, like I don't know if that's a good thing, him going crazy all the time. He needs to slow it down a little bit here, or else he's going to hurt himself more than the opponent. So, and that's something I said after that match in LA, where I love when Zilla's 100%, but sometimes he needs to dial it down here just a little bit. But nonetheless, another strong performance for Zilla. This was a war, and I wrote another match where Zilla gets to shine and showcase his potential. And teaming up with Nick Gage was a very positive thing for him in GCW as of late, and I love to see it. And this one was a battle, a war, and I was glad to have it play out right before the main event.
Well, I will say that I was happy seeing Reed Bentley back. It had been just a little bit. I have a note here. Gage is not right. Reed isn't a pussy. 2-3 shows ago, Gage told him to go. Gage told Murdoch, go get his pussy teammate. And Reed actually was like, I can't believe he's calling me that. And yeah, it was something funny. So Murdoch has his thumb still taped up. He's now calling it the Melky Spike and it fails on him a couple times during the match. They have a combined height of 11 feet and 10 inches. That's a new one. Zilla's out first. Gage is out next. Hard to deny those two awesome entrances back to back. What were you thinking there, bud? I kind of ran over.
I just love the entrances with Reed and Bentley. Like they do the combined height, and then like the next night, like anywhere but this fucking shithole in Columbus,
yes.
like where they're from. I love how they switch it up all the time, and then the way MLJ says, "By God, Reed Bentley" is awesome too.
So I kind of have a feeling I understand what Brett's talking about. Some of these newer guys, they'll come out and they'll be like, yeah, let's hit that spot and boom, and get the fans to pop. And he's still in the my body can't break, I'm young phase kind of thing. And I think maybe Brett's saying, hey kid, you got a lot of door spots in your future coming up. Take it easy a little bit. Yeah, Zilla, I'm guessing, is just highly enthusiastic because that's how he comes across. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but I still see the youth in him. I still see an 18, 16-year-old kid in there. I don't know. Maybe his adult body hasn't fully hit yet, but I don't know. Maybe it's also being 44, but I still see a young kid in the
Oh
face.
yeah,
So.
and you see him like just enjoying it and have, like I said, the LA show. I think that was a breakout moment. Just like I think it clicked in his head,
Yes.
like holy shit, this is awesome. Like the crowds are loving me, they're cheering. I'm teaming with Nick fucking Gage again this night, and I you just see the youthful like not ignorance, but kind of like, hey, like you don't know any better as of yet, but you just see the potential that he has in him, that he how much he loves this and just willing to go crazy and do whatever it takes. And I you can't hate that, but you also, like you said, hey, slow it down if you want to last a few more years in this business.
Yeah, and he did a damn good job. And between the rejects, Zilla and Gage, we're not looking at a technical masterpiece. This is more of a hardcore match here. Almost 19 minutes long, too. And I will say, given Zilla being as green as he is and whatnot, I'd have to say that GCW's done an excellent job hiding that from the fans. They've found the 20 things, 15 things that work best for him, and they're just pushing those buttons over and over. And if we get another Jacob Fatu out of this, I'm not going to complain at all.
That's where I was just about to go. Zilla
Yeah.
is more and more looking like Jacob in a younger version, and I think, as piggybacking on what you're saying, like how they're booking him, I think booking him in, as I said, John Wayne Murdoch, that's a big name for his first feud in GCW, probably his first feud in wrestling. I don't know how many like his 10 or 15 matches he's had, but I think that's a perfect opponent stylistically for him too, because John Wayne Murdoch could make you look good and have a brawl with you and have a hardcore match and still make you look good. And I think that's exactly what Zilla needs right now. And like, yeah, I agree with everything you said. They've been playing Zilla perfectly in his time in GCW. And like I'm going to piggyback on what you said too. It's just, he's turning into a mini Jacob Fatu. And I think that's something that's been missing in GCW since Fatu's not been here no more.
So this is, of course, a green thing. Zilla got hot and jumped too early on Gage's entrance. I don't know if anyone kind of noticed there, but Emil was exiting the ring and still finishing Gage's and his intro. I'm not, like I said, I didn't expect a technical masterpiece. I expected a brawl here, and of course they could, but that's not what these guys were here for. We were almost immediately outside the ring and into the crowd fighting within the first minute. This is where we got our third "This is awesome" chant. So our third one came in on match number 7. We have doors and chairs. Murdoch launched like a weapon at Bentley at one point. Zilla was diving off the ring apron and through a door. I feel it's a cool spot, and I'm starting to think he's that guy. I think these spots are gaining him favor with the fans also. So this may be his thing, dive off the apron onto hey man, and it works. He's not going too far. So, he's only fallen 3-4 feet from the ground. But yeah, Zilla then goes through a door in the corner. So this young guy I feel like he likes hardcore stuff. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting.
The speed that he ran through that door in the corner caught me off guard. And I think a couple of the fans, like I saw them like, whoa, like holy shit, because that door exploded and he just went like 100 miles an hour into it. And yeah, he is that kind of guy that can make those spots look very cool because his explosiveness, I think.
Now, this is the second match that these two have met up, but I'm starting to notice that Zilla and Murdoch is becoming a thing that needs to be settled one-on-one at some point. Why the hell not? Also, Bentley, a nasty shot to Gage's head with a door. The hit made a loud pop sound and left a Gage-size head hole in the door. But our ending here, Murdoch rolled up Zilla and used his tights for leverage to give the Rejects the win. Again, a 19-minute hardcore match, the Rejects, Zilla, and Gage. I couldn't be happier with what they put together. Absolutely entertaining. And again, Zilla shows no, what's a good word for it? Flinching. It's just like, you know what? I got to do something. I'm going to do it. And I think fans kind of feel that he's go, go, go in that aspect. And we love that.
Yeah, I agree. This was a brilliantly booked match. 18 minutes, like 19 minutes almost, was crazy to see that. And I wasn't too happy with John Wayne, the rejects getting the win, but I get it because, as Prazak mentioned, it's good momentum building for John Wayne Murdoch going into TOS. Got to heat him back up going into that. I get it. And I think that's Zilla's first loss or maybe second loss, but I think the loss made him still look strong. And as you said, I think it is going to lead to a John Wayne Murdoch Zilla meetup one-on-one here. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited that Zilla has a purpose and a story and a feud, and has a strong thing going right now in GCW, and he's killing it every time. And this was just another example of it. Our next match of the evening was another match I was really looking forward to, as Speedball Mike Bailey goes against the very evil, very nice Danhausen. And I was kind of hoping for a serious version of Danhausen this match. I kind of got a mix of what I want. Like I really want to see a comedy match with Speedball and Danhausen. I think that would be very entertaining. This match did have its spots thrown in there, but I was really hoping for a serious match. And we kind of, like I said, I kind of got a mixture of what I wanted here. And I was happy to see this version of Danhausen. Other than the curses, there was not really much tomfoolery going on here. And I enjoyed it. I like Speedball being making the curses look good, and the way he was selling all that stuff and kind of taking a heel version in this match was a little shocking to me, but I didn't mind it. And this match was awesome. Like, it had its comedy spots and it had good wrestling, and I enjoyed every piece of this match.
I feel like Danhausen and Mike Bailey also have similar senses of humor, which I kind of like sometimes. All right, so this is a Danhausen match, so be mindful, parents. There may be a lot of cursing in this match, and you may not want your children witnessing it. Speedball is always a welcome sight in GCW, an instant quality match, whoever his opponent. If I had 9 matches to book, I could rest assured wherever Mike is placed will be a solid match on the card. Danhausen is a much... Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I was going to piggyback off you. That's the note, like the next note that I have.
Yeah.
Like, Speedball might be the most versatile wrestler in the world right now. He could go 5-star classic with Will Ospreay. He could have a comedy match and turn that into a 5-star classic with Yoshihiko. He just has all these matches, and any type of match that he has, it's always like the highlight of the night. Like, we're always talking about the Speedball matches, and they never disappoint. They always over deliver. And I just had to piggyback off you because that was Speedball's incredible. And like what you wrote there was pretty much exactly what I was going to go with.
Yeah, Speedball's my dude. And like I said, I've said it before, for a face champion at some point at GCW, amongst other places, but he would be a great face champion. And I feel like he could bring in some more fans that aren't normally GCW fans to the product.
I'll be honest with you right now. He is my choice to be the next champion. Like, I think he would be brilliant. Rebret with the TNA backing that he kind of has, and his like what I just said with his matches, I see him being a very good champion for GCW, because also his style of wrestling and the matches that he can have could be outside of the normal just world title matches and just regular wrestling. Like, he could incorporate GCW into his wrestling and have a very good title run, I think, against a lot of different opponents. And he could go back and forth with whatever you needed to. You need him to be a heel, he could be the heel. You need him to be a face, he could be the face. And I think that could also add a lot of diversity into his title run, where you just never know what to expect, and that could change week to week. And I think that just gets the fans kind of up and going too. I don't know. For me, now that Blake's not champion and it is vacant, that's why I put Speedball in my gauntlet. I want Speedball to be the representative of GCW as a world champion right now.
And for me, I say, I hope that there's a time that he gets it. I agree with you 100%. He's just so versatile, and he's in the Joey Janela range in this category. He can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I've seen it. I've seen him take an opponent that's subpar and pull an average or above average match out of him. It's almost like he just has to try, and he needs an opponent that knows half of his shit, and somehow they'll work out a full match. So yeah, I stand by it. One day down the road, I feel like he'll be an excellent title holder, and I feel like he's at a place where he should have one. So we'll see what happens there. I have Danhausen, a much better character in his older, darker ways than he was at AEW. He was okay. I'm gonna talk. He was a fucking joke at AEW. He was treated like one. They treated him like a fucking cartoon character, and that was never his delivery since day one. So I'm happy to see him over here. I like the curse of Danhausen. I like the darker character. I liked when he had the blood running down his mouth and into his chin. It made him look a little more animal-like, or I don't know what a good word for it is. My advice,
Sadistic.
and again, sadistic. You know what? That's a perfect word for it. He looked sadistic. He looked like cursed.
And it fits the evil part of his character right there. I agree with you. That blood like added a lot to his character in that
Huge.
moment. That sense, just that picture is like, that's the Danhausen. Like, I agree with you. That's the Danhausen I want to.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give some advice, and of course, it's just my opinion. Lose the teeth. To me, just an opinion. I think it's only a thing because he continues to push it. It doesn't really enhance his character, and I don't think he really needs it. You can do whatever you want to because you're the wrestler, not me, but I don't think it enhances him in any way. Let's see here. Danhausen came out hot for the first couple minutes. He cursed. I mean, right off the bat, he started cursing people. I like the lightning kicks by Bailey, but they look fake. I'm just going to kind of announce it now. You see him when the guy stands there with his arms like this and he just gets kicked back and forth. It's definitely indie work, but you know, maybe those will go to the wayside one day, or maybe he'll make it a 2 or 3 kick thing where the person actually gets like knocked around a little.
I think it's a setup for like the head kick because you never know when it's going to come, and that's what I always expect from those kicks. It's just like it's like a jab in boxing. Just keep them stunned, and then unexpectedly hit him with the uppercut and hit him with the foot in this case.
So my issue was that he would stand there and just take it, the opponent. My thought is, why don't you place them in the corner where they're being held up by the corner and then just deliver kicks and slowly crumble them in the corner? You see what I'm saying? Like actually watch them crumble down and be kicked. You know, on top of that, he'd have to kick in between the ropes to make connection, which would kind of look cool. Again, I wish it's not my body, so I can't really say it's not my career. I always worry when Speedball runs around the ring in case there's liquid to slip in. And just as I wrote it, he fucking slipped, but he was cursed. He was cursed. It wasn't liquid. I felt like we're getting a much better Danhausen than AEW. This is something I just said earlier, but I also say I believe he's done there at AEW. If you look at the tweets, he doesn't have much time left, I don't think.
And I had that same thought when they announced him for like the next couple shows. I'm like, I wonder if he is finishing up there and then going to do what he's doing now. And I think this has been perfect for him. But I also like he could stay under contract still than just do this. I think that this is why I've always loved AEW, especially when they first started. This was what their motto was. Like, hey, we need you on Wednesdays and 4 Saturdays out of the year. The rest of the time, go do what you guys need to do. Make your money, go on the independent scene. But when we need you, we need you. And that's one thing I've always, and I still to this day love AEW. I just wish they would do let a little bit more talent come down to GCW. I feel like ever since the whole Moxley incident, I've always been like, I feel like they're gun shy to send another big name down, but we're getting the Danhausens. We still get Billy and Nick every once in a while. So I'm happy with that. And I think that's what should be happening with these wrestlers. Like if you're not getting used, go work on independence, hone your craft, create the connections with the fans. So that way, when you are on TV, now you got a lot more fans that are going to watch you. Like make the most out of your time. And I'm glad that Danhausen is using this time to kind of resurrect his career and like his vision and the vision that got him to AEW in the first place. And I just want to see a lot more of that happening with a lot more wrestlers all over the place, not just AEW, but whenever I do get to see it, I am always happy to see that.
You know, Joey mentioned this on X. I think it was like 3-4 days ago. He said it's really bullshit that there's a lot of people in AEW that they're taking their paycheck. They're wrestling 3 or 4 times a year. They sit in catering the other 200 and some days, maybe 300 and some days they're not working the indies. They're not doing anything. Basically, they're getting their paycheck. They got lazy. I'd love to know who those wrestlers are because I want to know who doesn't love performing in front of fans. If it's about the paycheck, which I think most of them always, but if you don't have love enough to where you aren't like scratching the walls to go perform, then fuck off. There's so many wrestlers and so many companies that there's so many people out there who love what they do and they do it and it shows that if you're just getting a paycheck, and you're like, fuck it, I'm not going to go do anything on the indies. I'm not going to get booked. I'll just sit in here and catering. And if they're just going to be like that, those kind of people maybe shouldn't be in the industry. Wrestlers at first, number one, are givers. And they know that too. They have to give themselves up. They have to put themselves into the character. They have to go out there. They have to sell their name. They have to sell their product. They're constantly giving chunks of themselves out in hopes that people appreciate what the wrestler's giving out. So I kind of squirreled off there.
Just real fast, I want to hit this one because this is always like a tricky name out there. Ricky Starks. Like, I think he's kind of along what you're saying, but I think his name is a big enough name where he should not, like, I don't think he's wrestling on independence, even though he's not being used at all right now in AEW. I think he's a big enough name where he can't risk an injury, especially if he is maybe on his way out. You don't want to risk an injury if you're maybe going to get a bigger contract or another big contract in AEW or / WWE, where I think that's a little different, where he's done the hard work and done enough in this business where he doesn't need to do it. But like all these young talents that AEW has that aren't being used, I think could tremendous, like NXT. I've always said this, like, I really wish like the Charlie Dempsey's and stuff, like when you're not being used, let them go out and just get better and get the experience and make their own money. Like that could also save you some money too, but like let them out there and go do that stuff. For like as a young kid, as you said, they're scratching and clawing to get the opportunities. I think Ricky Starks is like at like one of those points where it's like, no, you are a big enough name and you have enough to risk where the loss is not worth the gain for the fans for that one night, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like I think certain, like you get to a certain level where it's not worth it. And I think Ricky Starks might be at that one, but I could also see him just showing up somewhere just to get the love and affection. Cause I always like, that's always like, it creates cool scenes for independents and fans, like, or unexpectedly, oh shit, we get to see a new name show up that we haven't seen on TV in a while, but now they're wrestling in our backyard in this little company. Like what the hell? And it just creates cool moments, I think, too, for the fans.
All right, here, Jen Doe. No, never lose the teeth. Hey, that's why I like to talk about it, because some like it, some don't. Brand, I'm figuring it's part of the thing, right? You're okay with it?
I like it. I like it because I think it does add the sadistic part. Like, oh, you're putting teeth down, and so like, what kind of sick creepo does that? And then like you kick them out, and it creates a cool visual. And I think it does. I think the teeth does help them when it's used in that kind of way. But I really liked how Speedball like used the teeth like you have to have a special power to open it, but like seen other people. We have seen other people do that though and use it. So like I was kind of like when I saw that, I'm like, why couldn't that just been a thing forever with Danhausen? Like, hey, he's the only one with this magical powers that could open that jar. No one else should be able to use it. So I don't mind the teeth. I just wish they would kind of throw in like some black or gold or silver, some blood on the teeth, like to add the more
bloody teeth
kind of stuff. Not just the pearly whites all the time. I want to see like some disgusting and like sadistic looking teeth.
So what do you think that is? Do you think that's like candy in there?
Yeah.
Like candy teeth? What do you think those are? I mean, I'm just trying to throw it out there. And he has to have like a place to get it in bulk cheap, because there's no reason you need to be spending hundreds of dollars on your teeth gimmick, So I got outnumbered tonight. Look at that. So we got outvoted. We're keeping the teeth. I'll have to let Danhausen know. Wrestle Dads, Taekwondo. Training is flashy for wrestling, not effective at all. And I'll tell you what, Taekwondo did have a spot with throws and whatnot, but what happened was MMA came along and really nullified karate and quite a few of those Asian martial arts that, I mean, really held it down for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So it's good you mentioned that. Great one. You could still buy a Danhausen mask at the AEW shows this weekend for $20. Yeah, man. Great one was just at the Las Vegas show where you were at, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Dan, like when he said the mask, I was like, oh yeah, that was up there. And like they actually did have like a couple other things. Danhausen, like for somebody not being featured, he moves a lot of merch, and like even at the merch table, like you could see like he's still all over there, which is it just shows you how bad they kind of fumbled him. So.
Great one. Here's our answer. They're plastic teeth. He has a few from a previous spot. So there we go. I'm guessing then he just gets, he buys some plastic teeth in bulk, and hey, that's awesome. I do like how you were saying Speedball couldn't open the jar. That's a rule to the game now that permanently could stay. No wrestler could open that except for Danhausen. That's his jar. I like it.
I do too. Like,
Okay.
it adds like a special, like, hey, it adds like that little superpower-ness that I kind of really don't like that too much, but whatever. If it's played out right, I could believe it.
Oh my gosh, here we go. All right, so back to the match here. Again, this was a 17-minute match. I'm hugely thankful because I love both of these guys. Double dick claws. I can say that no one won during that exchange. Then Perch was double cursed. It was funny to watch Mike and Danhausen high-five each other when they cursed him. Perch's hand. Here's how the curse came out. Perch's hand got cursed and couldn't count to 3. Well, that wasn't very good. Speedball didn't like that very much. Well, Perch then curses Speedball. Fans are chanting, "You are next." I thought that was kind of cool. They gave it like a little scary scary moment situation. Bailey goes for Ultimo weapon and the curse hits him. Danhausen puts the teeth in Bailey's mouth, hits the goated teeth for the win. So there we are. Yeah, 17 minutes. Our winner was Danhausen. I'm cool with both of these guys sticking around for the long term. Again, they both have the personality that GCW fans really appreciate. They have a good, clean humor to them, which is kind of rare in GCW. So, I mean, there's holes to fill, and they fill so many of them. And like I said, with Speedball being so solid on the card, how are you going to go wrong? And Danhausen, total entertainment. Same thing. Kids would love him. Adults love him. Anywhere on the card you put him is fantastic. So GCW is firing on all cylinders, man.
Yeah, this match was fun. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I wanted 2 separate matches. I got both of them combined into one, and I definitely would want to see them run it back, do some other bullshit curses in some other way. Like I was like their rematch is going to be creative because they'll reverse everything, and like those are 2 creative wrestling minds, like in that kind of sense, to set up cool like spots like that aren't really wrestling.
Yeah.
I think they would connect it again and kill it in a rematch. And I enjoyed it. I left happy as well. And yeah, anytime we get to see both of them on the same card, I'm always happy for it. And like, I'm really happy. Like, when I first saw Danhausen, I'm like, okay, but we got the different Danhausen that I wanted to see, that you wanted to see. So I've been very happy with Danhausen's run in GCW, and I'm happy to see it continue on for the next couple. He got announced for like 2 more shows later on, so I'm happy to see that run happen in 2024. All right, next matchup of the evening was a grudge match, as it is Mance Warner going against Cole Radrick. Just a lot of further in story in this one, a lot of violence, and now with FE and Mance, there's just so much going on all over the place, not even just in the ring. It's you never know what to expect during these matches, and I like being on my toes with that. And it's this match against Cole Radrick was another one where Mance gets to get his hands on one of FE's friends and do what he wants with him to kind of push FE to possibly breaking that commitment of not attacking or laying his hands on Mance Warner. I enjoyed this match. It was awesome, and just everything going on with it. It's a very fun story being told.
All right, Mance Warner versus Cole Radrick. I had to go red for a little bit. We're going to get bloody here. From here onward, just expect chaos. Mance Warner versus Cole Radrick. Only 10 minutes and 20 seconds in this one, but it felt like you packed 30 minutes worth of action and storylines. Effie comes out for commentary. Again, one of my favorite people on commentary. He's so colorful, and I think he has a knack for it. I think maybe he knows that too. Cole came out to huge cheers. Mance came out almost straight to the ring, strictly business. He wasn't going around the ring with the fans dicking with him like he normally does. Mance started hot before the bell. Adrenaline was flying from both men. Cole matched a lot of Mance's intensity and pace. He wasn't trying to let up on Mance, and honestly, you can't. Referee Adam Galt kicked Mance's hand off the rope. We've seen a little aggression from Adam. Fans really appreciated it. You know what? I didn't mention this last time. You guys need to be nice to poor Adam Galt. He got booed in his hometown. 2 weekends ago, dude got booed in his hometown. So, everybody hates the guy who has to enforce the rules. But let me tell you, Adam Galt is cool as fuck. So, yeah, give these referees some love because they do work their ass off. And let's be honest, they don't get enough credit. They're seen as that silent person out there that's enforcing the rules that, oh, come on, let them fight. Blah, blah. No, man, Adam is cool as hell. I'd have to say, if you get a chance to see any of these referees or if they help you with anything, thank them copiously because they are the coolest people out there in my eyes. All right. So Effie and Cardona were on commentary together. I found that hilarious. I noticed they were kissing each other's asses a lot. That was odd since Effie's a face and Cardona's a heel. And either they forgot that before going on commentary or maybe they didn't. So I'll just mention my favorite song by John Lennon is Mind Games. So who knows? Maybe there's some mind games going on there. Mance went for the bell and the stress levels went up just a little when he got near Effie. The heat feels real. I love it. Halfway in, there was no blood. It was just a hardcore match with real wrestling. I do feel it's a big step up from your average hardcore match. Both looked great in this one. Mance stared down Effie as he pins Cole, and Cole got fucked up bad in this one. So I'll stop right there. Is there anything you wanted to say about this match before we get into the second half that happened afterwards?
No, like the violence was there, the brawl, the intensity was there, as you said. Like I'm really glad Cole was able to match Mance's intensity, but I just felt tense the entire match because like I said, there's so much going on all over the place. Then you got throw in Cardona and Effie on commentary. It was fun. It's just being on the edge of your seat and like on your toes, not knowing what to expect. It's been a fun ride, and this feud just gets better and better. And I thought they started off hot, and it just keeps getting better. And I can't complain, and I'm loving it. And this was another prime example of a cool way to further along the story during this match.
I'll just jump in here real quick. Tight Spots Playhouse. What's up, you pimps? What's up, buddy?
I met up with him at a Double or Nothing too.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Again, man, GCW fandom, small world. A lot of us know each other. And I'm dead honest, as a person who's in independent wrestling, if you start watching this, man, start digging into the people. We got some of the best fucking fans. We're not arguing. We're not having issues. We're not trying to find each other and dox each other and shit. Like, it's just a big family, and we're like, hey man, I like what you like, and it's really cool. I love the vibe on the independent scene. Tight Spot also mentioned I bought the Danhausen flag this weekend. Just let me know how much you got that flag for. I don't know if it's like 25, 20, 50. Like, I'm kind of curious. Also, great one. You can tell Effie and Cardona respect each other. I think they wanted to push the Mance versus Effie angle over teasing a rivalry with each other. I'd have to say that that's probably right.
And we've been there, done that with FB and Cardona too. It's like they had their own little thing. They both made money, and then they're kind of like, I like the teasing of it, but also like I agree with the great one. It was a good focus on what the actual moneymaker is right now, and I think that's where Cardona and Effie's mind, like they both know, hey, let's just push this so that way we all could get more money. And it was cool to see. Like the whole thing on commentary was just awesome. Like you said, the rotation of people throughout the whole night has been awesome, and just being able to get Cardona as much as we are is, I think, a treat, and he's excelling at his role right now.
What happens if he finds out this is the best role for him? Because we just found out that if his body lets go one day, he's going to be a terror on the microphone. I love it. He's just given himself he's extended his career. It's obvious, you know what I mean? Tight Spots Playhouse, just for anybody that wanted to know out there, $20 was what they got that Danhausen flag for. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm with you. And with Tight Spot here, Cardona's the man. I mean, we don't like the whatever, but I love what they're doing. I think this was the best way to give him work also why he's injured.
Yep.
I think we got something special there. All right. So after the match, Effie grabs a chair. Mance has a screwdriver. It's a face-off in the ring. Everybody was telling Effie the whole time, don't get in that ring. Don't touch him. You're going to fuck up your opportunity if you do. Mance is then trying to bait Effie by stabbing Cole in the head. There was something being said in that ring. We need a mic on that. I don't know what they're saying, but I wish we had some, because I'm sure it was important. And I know the first few rows of fans around the ring heard it, but we didn't get to at home. Finally, Manders, Ali, and Sheik run in to help out. Manders goes to look at Cole. I would have liked to have seen, I would have liked to have had a little static between Manders and Mance right there, because there's a huge history between both of them. So I just wanted to mention that too. They looked at each other, but they didn't look at each other like two guys that were partners for years. And just to maybe set up a secondary match, they could have had a little face off there between Mance and Manders. Cardona then leaves the broadcast commentary. Go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm just being honest. Wrestling Revolver is doing a pretty cool thing with the breakup of SGC, piggybacking off what GCW has been doing. It's like seeing like those Manders, Vance Warner, and Justice in a trios match. Like, why that should be happening on GCW? Like, that's just a little frustrating to see the other companies picking up our little trash and stuff and like turn it into like a nice meal and a nice match. And I just wish GCW, like as you said, play along a little bit more with the Mance and Manders teas, and I just like they could have set up another match like for Manders and Mance to kind of even further push their story along. But seeing other companies do it's kind of been cool to see, but a little disappointing that GCW is not capitalizing on it.
Well, hopefully they learn from that one, because I agree with you here in saying that there's a couple things that GCW is putting down that maybe they should have picked up, and it's someone who's more of an opportunist maybe grabbing that. So I respect that 100%. I mean, if someone's going to outwork in this area, that, or again, we don't understand how money goes. We don't understand, Justice. We haven't seen Matthew Justice in a long time, and that's probably going to stay that way. So yeah, I would love to see SGC kind of get everything together, but right now it looks like GCW is taking a different route on it. My concern is just, where does Manders land in all this? And luckily Manders has been hitting that singles scene and really impressing people over there. It's just, we needed to kick the tag team training wheels off. And when we've seen a very tough opponent out there. So looking forward to seeing what's going on. And I also wanted to let everyone know, I did ask to try to see if we could find out a timeline for when Sawyer Wreck comes back. I don't have an answer on that yet. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I did try to get a little bit of news on that to see what the timeline is on them coming back. But just wanted to let everyone know. So after this, Brett jumps on the mic, and this is the announcement we were talking about earlier during the news, where DDT and GCW will be having joint shows from August 12th all the way through the 14th. So anything else you have to say about that Warner Radrick match off the top? I know he fucked himself up so bad that Cole's head was wrapped up the next day for the next show.
And that's why I wrote that for the next night. I like how Cole kind of was selling the effects of the beatdown from the night before. But no, I think you hit it all spot on. It just very strong story right now with a lot of emotions and a lot of pieces being involved. And it's cool to see, and it's been fun to watch. All right, let's head into our main event of the evening as Gringo Loco goes against Dralistico. Glad to see Gringo get another main event in Talia Hall in Chicago. And Dralistico was a perfect opponent and a great lucha match to send the fans home happy at the end of this show. And I think it was another fun, fantastic match between both. And Gringo, when you said Gringo on your gauntlet, I'm like, that's like one I was kind of fighting on. Like, do I add him to it? Do I not? I didn't like that was one I was iffy with, but he always has, just like Speedball, always has fantastic performances. And I think he would be another strong leader representing the GCW brand as world champion. But overall, this match, another great match with Dralistico.
You know what? You have red now too. Let me do this.
Yeah, I went red when you did it.
Okay, so you do red, I'll do blue. We'll do like a little halo kind of. There we go. Now we're different. There we go. We have opposing viewpoints here. All right. Dralistico versus Gringo Loco. If you grew up in the 90s, Dralistico has that music from the Pure Moods album that you would hear late night on your TV, like if you woke up in the middle of the night. Just letting you know, I love the white and silver that he came out with. Also, this is Dralistico's GCW debut, so I was happy to see him over here. Gringo Loco is out, and we're ready to go. I think I heard Mexico chants and also Dralistico chants. It seemed quite obvious that in the Chicago area, there are definitely some Dralistico fans, and if not that, then there's probably some heavy lucha fans, because I could hear pockets of Dralistico chants going off. Gringo ripped Jalistico's mask, and Gringo is officially our bad guy. Gringo delivers nasty chair shots to Jalistico's head. Then he bites him, which causes Jalistico to bleed. I felt like this match was very grudge-like. This makes me think of Psycho Clown with the ripping of the mask and fighting outside the ring and all the dirty things that go on. Jalistico with a huge leap off the stage into a Hurricane Rana was absolutely impressive. Then Jalistico with a nasty chair shot that opened up Gringo immediately. You can even hear the hit. It hit his shoulder and the top of his head, and it popped him pretty good. As a Lucha fan, I could definitely say I was happy with this match. Jalistico, I'm going to say this a lot, is his name, but Jalistico with another Hurricane Rana, and this time Gringo's head cracked a chair and not on purpose. I don't know if you saw that. He did. Did you see that? He did a Hurricane Rana. Oh man. Okay. So you know how they do the whole move, and then when they let go, the person falls, right? When Gringo fell, I don't know if Jalistico's weight was just too much, but he didn't control his fall as much as he did. And he went head first into a chair. You can hear the chair go and when he hit it, but, okay, so yeah, after a hard-fought 20.5-minute match, Jalistico wins with the crucifix bomb. Both hug it out. Money reigns. I would have to say this was a solid main event here. And yeah, Gringo Loco for me is the guy that I like to put in a lot of tournaments and events because of that lucha aspect, but also because he has that American training in him also. And it works really well with American wrestlers in tournaments and whatnot. So that's what I have to say about Mr. Jalistico and Gringo Loco, a very satisfying main event.
Yep, I agree with you. Very good main event to end the night in Chicago. And that will lead us into the next evening as GCW's Paranoid comes to us from Valleydale Ballroom in Columbus, Ohio. And I know you got some notes on the venue, so I'll let you take over the notes on the venue. Sorry, I should look up every once in a while. You're muted.
Turtle was just coming up and saying hi real quick. It was bedtime on my side. So, all right. So we're jumping into GCW's Paranoid. Okay. This was on the 29th from Valleydale Ballroom, Columbus, Ohio. Let me kind of talk about the Valleydale Ballroom because to me, this is a beautiful place. I'm a big fan of blues and greens, and obviously with my new tie-dye shirt on. We had a bluish white tone overall, black walls, excuse me, white wood on the inside, white curtains, white chandeliers, white and sometimes blue lights highlight the walls and the ceiling. The ceiling is kind of a warehouse style. I felt like the sound should probably bounce beautifully given that situation. I see a large blue-white light that glows onto the ring, and there's some trees with white lights. The white Christmas style LEDs, they accent a lot of the straight angles in the room. So we're looking at a very dreamy kind of situation. There's an area with a purple light that I like a lot. The second story walls look black. They have a black floor. There's one area with the blue taped around the ring, I'm assuming to protect the floors. And the other area is like a regular non-covered black with white stripes. The ring is different in a good way. Think of a black ring, post and aprons, then add white ropes and turnbuckles and a blue canvas. So my thing is, if you're a fan of the color blue, you're definitely seeing that in this broadcast because the whole thing had this beautiful bluish white glow to it. That's what I have to say about the beginning of this one. Was there anything on your thoughts? It's just, you're a venue guy. I just know Valleydale is kind of a cool looking venue.
Yeah, to me, it's just a venue. Like what sticks out to me is the stage with the lights on it. Like that's the only thing that really sticks out to me in that venue.
Yeah, that's where they have production up there. Yeah, it's a cool little place.
Like where the entrance is. Like I don't know. Like that venue, it's a venue to me.
I'm ready to roll into match number 1. I know we're kind of getting rolling here.
Match number 1 is a tag team match as Los Desperados go against the Rad Bros, Cole Radrick with Bang and Matthews and the full trio of Los Desperados. This was a very strong opener. All of them are fan favorites. Just like I said earlier, I loved Cole selling the injury from the night before. Cool little detail that we don't see a lot in wrestling. That whenever I do see it, it catches my eye and I enjoy seeing it. And yeah, I was just happy with our winners and to get the little momentum. But it was a very action packed opener. Like someone else tweeted out, I saw it today too, like back to back 2 nights of strong openers. And like we always talk about, like they just seem like always the first 2 matches are just back to back good momentum builders for the rest of the show.
I'll just break in here and say, Kev C, what's up, dudes? We were just
What's
talking
up?
about you earlier, Kev. Okay, so any listeners that were on here, because there's a couple hundred of us, easy. We were talking about you and Kev found each other at the AEW show. It's like GCW fan, baby.
Yeah, it was like a random one on escalator too. Like, yeah, it was nice to walk out and see some listeners and talk with them and stuff. Especially Kev C that always interacts with Twitter and stuff, and finally be able to meet him face to face. That was a cool thing. So, what's up, Kev C?
Fuck yeah, we love you, dude. All right, Tight Spots Playhouse Edge. Yeah, fractured tibia. That's what you get when you climb all the way at the top when you're in your 40s, damn near 50, and you decide you're going to jump off of something the size of, the height of a basketball hoop. It happens, He maybe should have hit a splash instead of just jumping down to his feet, but I don't know if maybe he was nervous, which makes sense too. I mean, you don't jump off of a cage every day, let's be honest. But at his age, he just wanted to hit that and have that glory, and he got it. So hopefully that's he got everything he wanted to out of it. All right. Yeah, Los Desperados and the Rad Bros. It took me a second to figure out Rad Bros, and then I think it was you last episode was like Cole Radrick and right. All right. So yeah, Cole's head was wrapped up like we were talking about earlier, but he was out there fighting like it didn't hurt, riding on pure adrenaline. The Rad Bros were quick enough with their American style to go head to head with the Desperados Lucha style. I feel that the Desperados performed a move similar to Spear's Tower if you have a chance to look at it, but the guy who gets launched for the spear, he instead got launched for a tope. So I felt like they outbanged the Bros for a minute with their own move, but that could be taken 100 different ways as a fuck you, I don't know, but I felt like maybe the Desperados said, hey, we like Spear's Tower, but check out what you could do with it. And then rolled that shit into a tope. It was damn good looking. Desperados won with a new swinging finisher on Matthews. I could not describe it. It was an 11.5-minute match, and I felt like it was damn good, especially for an opener. I really liked it a lot. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, there was a lot of innovative moves, and I think the Rad Bros was perfect opponents for those Desperados to try out a lot of new stuff and different and showcase what they do as a trios. Like we always talk about how innovative they are as a tag team, and this was another match where everybody was innovative and had a lot of cool spots. And Los Desperados with the win. I was happy to see them get the win, and that was a very, very strong opener. Next match of the evening was Megan Bayne going against Dark Sheik. I was once again looking forward to this matchup, see if Bayne could keep up her momentum that she's earned and has in GCW. And after that match with Alley Catch, she kept it up. And once again, she looked strong and Sheik looked strong too, but Bayne was just throwing her around just like Alley Catch. And Bayne's just been on another level. When we did the gauntlet after watching this match with Dark Sheik, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing Bayne kind of thrown into the gauntlet just to see what she could kind of do with some top names. And she's got all the wins and got the momentum going on now. I wouldn't mind seeing it. And she holds her own with the men, but also with Sheik and Alley Catch, she was throwing them around, and she's just been utterly impressive, and it's so cool to see. And she's like really, really good in the ring, and the presentation, the character work, she has it. Whatever it is, she has it. And Sheik stepped up and made Megan look really good in this matchup.
Yeah, I have that Megan came out first. Prazak was mentioning Bayne is becoming a fan favorite at GCW. We're seeing that. We've stated our opinions. We've also heard great things from other hardcore fans. So I feel that if she's booked right, we have a dominating female for a while, whether face or heel, your choice. But it seems like even if she goes heel, she's winning over people. So this might be a good heel to a degree in the fact that people are like, damn, that is a weapon. But at the same time, it's hard to cheer a heel afterwards. But it seems like she can't stop from winning over fans, which is a great problem to have. If I had a women's division, I don't. GCW doesn't. And if I had a women's belt, I don't. GCW's women's belt is dormant. I would rocket her straight to the top of the title scene at GCW right now. I would have her having the entire women's division on edge and nervous that here comes a new dominant female in the division. So that's what I do with her in a common way. I really like the rugs when Sheik comes out. It gives it a Middle Eastern touch, which I feel is a perfect time to film that entrance. And I forgot this was the venue with the rugs on the stage. I always forget this is the one that has that. You know how every venue you remember something? I always remember this is the one with those Persian style rugs out there. Sheik had high energy and was bouncing around. It was the complete opposite of Bane, who was more stoic and methodical on purpose. It felt like Sheik was fighting from behind a lot. I think that's where we were talking about maybe the booking is giving Bane a little bit of an edge there. So there was a spot where Bane went for an F5 and Sheik reversed it into a DDT. I audibly said, ooh, out loud. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Sheik's speed and agility made this a perfect balance from Bane's strength. She keeps talking. I love listening to her live. Again, she does a lot with the fans, and in the middle of the match, if you have a chance to hear it, some of these wrestlers are really sharp with their words and whatnot, and they say some really fun things. Sheik damn near did a coast to coast to the floor and then kicked out of an F5 a minute later. Here we go with our fourth. No, this is our first of this show. This is awesome chance. Bane wins with the tombstone. Again, the heel gets cheers regardless. Both performers rocked it in the ring is what I wrote here. Bane with the win at the 11-minute mark. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, another big win for Megan, and like I said, they both look strong. And I think going off of what you were saying about what Megan shooting her to the top of the women's division, I think that's why I kind of, after seeing what I'm seeing, I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of do that in this little gauntlet match to give her a little showcase and maybe throw some men around and have her look strong there. And I think that even just her being in there and getting a couple moments would be a big moment for her in GCW, and she's definitely earned it in her short time here. Like, yeah, I agree with you. She's one of those ones that if you see once, you're like, yep, immediately put the strap the rockets to her and go, because she has been impressive with all her matches with Joey, Ali, Dark, Sheik, Jimmy. Just no matter the opponent, she's looked impressive, and I was happy to see that this match, and happy to see Sheik look as strong as she did as well.
Oh, hell yeah. Love Sheik. Las Vegas area local, baby.
Yes. Next matchup is the Rejects going against Infinity and Beyond. Another fun, nice tag team matchup here, and I think it's another matchup that showcases how deep the tag division is in GCW and all the good tag teams they've been bringing in. And yeah, this was a fun match and went a little bit shorter than I was kind of expecting. I thought I'd maybe get a little bit longer, but Infinity and Beyond once again shined during this matchup with the Rejects.
All right, so here we are with the entrance you were just talking about. The Rejects are announced fighting from anywhere but shithole Ohio. Columbus loved that. And let's see here. I definitely knew we were in for some quality entertainment when I realized that Infinity and Beyond said that they were coming from the future. So we have one team coming from the future and the other one that would come from anywhere but the hometown they're sitting in that night. Rejects have some support in Columbus, though. I feel like they're closer to Kentucky, or maybe it's part of Reed's territory. I mean, the territory for the tag, but a lot of Reed fans. I don't know if maybe he had some people there that he knew, or just there are people that really love, Cincinnati, we call Cincinnati. So there's a chance that, you know what I mean? Like Columbus isn't too far from Cincinnati, that isn't too far from Kentucky. So I wouldn't be surprised if it works that way. The doors come out early in this match. It was obvious it's violence time. The Rejects are using fans as weapons. So I feel like in this match, the Rejects were faces. The fans were becoming part of the roster for the night. That was something different. Murdoch and Cheech were stunned when Murdoch tried to use the Melky Spike, and it didn't do anything. It was like a toy with no batteries. The Judd Nelson driver, which is basically the Reed Bentley assisted Deep South driver, was performed on Colin Delaney for the win in an 11-minute match. Like you said, a little too short, especially when we're both hardcore fans. At one point, I felt the Rejects should have probably put away to Infinity and Beyond early, because we're looking at 2 levels here. And if we wanted to make the Rejects a strong team, they probably should have squashed to Infinity Beyond about 3 to 4 minutes earlier than this match went. But I want to be fair. This was also a showcase of the local talent in the area to which To Infinity and Beyond are from. So I wanted to be fair about that. What are your thoughts on this match?
I agree with you there. I thought if they wanted to make Rejects look a lot stronger, like it could have ended earlier, and it makes sense. We're not too familiar with Infinity and Beyond in GCW. It could have helped make the Rejects look a little bit stronger. And as Prazak once again said, another would have helped to get more momentum for John Wayne going into TOS. But I'm happy they got the win, and I'm happy to see at least Colin Delaney again in GCW. So like I said, I don't mind it. I wanted a little bit more like. I like the 50-50 kind of this, but I understand what you're like. I absolutely understand what you're saying to make them look a little bit stronger. Could have ended a little bit earlier, a little bit less offense from Infinity and Beyond.
And that's where we differ again. I agree with you. This match could have went and been longer. And then I thought the other side, it's to Infinity Beyond who are more local. So that was a hard balance on that one, honestly. All right. So after the match, Kevin Blackwood enters for that next match. And here comes Joey. His ribs and back are taped up. He grabs the mic, says he just got back from the hospital and he's there to compete. So we think the match will begin soon, but Broski Jimmy comes out. He says, this ain't no outlaw mud show. He used the word ain't. But this is the Matt Cardona era. So fans ask, where's Matt Cardona? Jimmy answers, he don't do B shows, which was hilarious. The fans boo. That was fucking funny. He said Columbus sucks. They take health very seriously at GCW, and he hasn't been medically cleared by the GCW doctors. So since he's not cleared to be wrestling, and thus he should be escorted from the building. Joey then chases after Jimmy. The referees and security usher Joey off for the night. Fuck you, Jimmy chants are coming from the fans. Lloyd says Blackwood still has a competitor as long as he stays under his 5-minute segment, which I thought segments were 15. He asked for local enhancement talent for a squash match to come out, and out comes Microman in a white leather gear, accented green and gold outfit. Looked fucking awesome. He looks great. Since his clusterfuck win over 86 other competitors, Microman's been undefeated. So we need to kind of look forward to that. And that's primarily the setup for our next match.
Yeah, I love that whole promo. I obviously, after all my bitching earlier, kind of got a little bit more excited, a little bit more into what could possibly happen at the Gauntlet with Joey seemingly out, but who knows?
Yeah.
Question mark. I like that little wrinkle, but then also it does scare me that he might just roll in from the ambulance and pick up the victory and walk out title with looking like a mummy, all wrapped up from all his bandages that he got his ass whooped in. But I loved it. It did add a little bit more to me. It added a lot more intrigue going into that Gauntlet match, because now the one person I think that was going to win it is no longer involved, and it kind of leaves it up in the air. So I got a lot more happier during this show after hearing that announcement. Jimmy's getting really good at his character. Like, his promo was spot on this night. He now like knows how to control the crowd and when to say shut the fuck up or fuck this is a B-town. Like, he's got like the little cadence and like the attitude and like snarkiness with him now to even get more over and get more heat as a heel. And I'm just glad to see him have a purpose and be used in GCW, not just in scrambles and anything else. So I'm happy for Jimmy in this situation, and wouldn't mind seeing a Jimmy versus Joey feud kind of going, because that's where it seems like it might be leading to now. And those two could always have a nice series of matches. But Microman coming out was a shock to me, and I did like the whole like, hey, yeah, Kevin Blackwood, who are you? You got 5 minutes. That's it. No more time for you. Like, you gotta, and it's like, I love that little like bullshit from Jimmy Lloyd too. And yeah, led us into Microman versus Kevin Blackwood.
So the fans start right from the beginning. Micro's gonna kill you. It was good seeing referee Max Recon in the ring again. He's more regional to the Midwest area there. So anytime we can see him's always a sorry there, had to clear my throat again. Brett with a good question. Since when has Cardona cared about Joey's well-being? It's really interesting to say after they just had an entire segment going, well, Joey, you're injured. You can't. Everything's going to go against Joey. That's how it is. And that's why I said, I have a feeling this might be an evil Vince McMahon GM versus Stone Cold situation going on. Would not be against it. anyone who has to pass a fist or a boot into Microman's atmosphere is always getting booed by the fans. That just seems to be how I'm seeing it right now. Somewhat surprising. We always see something fresh from Microman every time, because you would think, given his situation, he would be more of a formula. It's nice to see that there's more than just a formula to Microman. Kevin did a great job working with Microman, and of course, the match can be made or broken by Micro's competitors' creativity. So again, Kevin Blackwood, great job on creativity to make this match as entertaining as it was, especially given that you only had 7 minutes here, 2 minutes over your segment, by the way. Micro with a double stomp into a splash in the corner for a win over Blackwood. And Microman remains undefeated in GCW since that clusterfuck win.
Kevin Blackwood better get that pocketbook ready for the Cardona fine or possible suspension for going over his 5 minutes there.
That's right.
I didn't notice the time match until you wrote it. Then I was like, oh wait, it is over 5, or it's over 5. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. Yeah, I liked it. Nice to see Microman get those opportunities and get the pops. And yeah, nice little fill in for Joey Janela. And I'm way more interested now in this gauntlet than I was the night prior, going into COS weekend.
Okay, the real tight spot. It's time. Take a hydrate break, John. All right, let's take a hydrate. I don't know why it's a thing, but guess what? Tonight it is.
You were choking on your words there. I think that's why he said it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. And then every now and then this comes out. It's legal here in this state, so every now and then that comes out, and I'm like, yeah, don't smoke, kids. That's a terrible thing. So did we go into this next one? I don't remember. Did you just announce with this one or not?
I'll go right into it though. Our next match was supposed to be a 3-way Haas match, but we got a special treat as a 4th member got added and was the first person announced for this match. Braden Toon goes against Isaiah Broner, Joshua Bishop, and the one called Manders. Like I said, I'm happy to see Braden added into this match as a surprise. And I think I was more excited just because he adds not only the Haas factor into this match, another big meat body in there to kind of go crazy with and have a lot of cool spots, but also his versatility and kind of agility and speed and high flyingness adds a totally different wrinkle than any other of the 3 competitors. So him being added to this match got me hyped up a lot more than what I was already hyped into this match, and all 4 delivered. This was a hard-hitting, brutal Haas fight, and I know you were probably smiling ear to ear, seeing all this meat flying all over the ring and slapping each other, and it was a very strong match. I'm glad they got to have the time and opportunity to showcase their talents, because I love all 4 of them. I loved all 3 of them, but throw Braden in. Yes, I love him too. And this was a good change of pace matchup from what we've seen kind of all weekend.
Yeah, I feel like Braden Toon is a Haas on speed or something. Like, it just you had it right, like the physicality and just everything that he's capable of is well above and beyond, but he still has the body. So, to do a standing backflip, come on. So he's just fantastic. Yeah, we have a match here where only the big boys play. I've said it 100 times. I grew up on the 80s WWF, so I'm a big body guy. It's just something that's always going to be there. I don't know if it's new, but I do like the new gray Manders gear. Manders, if you're hearing me out there, that black on gray looked pretty fucking awesome. Bishop with a nice fall away slam on Toon. Broner answers with his own, but he used Manders. Manders and Broner, I felt like, is an even matchup. Here we are with another Manders match I did not know I needed. Then he's asking for chops from Bishop and Broner. We go into a huge chop fest mid-match. Toon goes up for his move, and he can't seem to get the attention of Manders and Bishop at one point. If you pay attention, kind of funny. There's a nasty Bishop spear to Broner. Bishop then eats a Manders lariat. Manders covers. Toon with the save via shooting star press. Again, all 4 men are playing chop uno in the ring together. Slaps are everywhere. Meat is just... power moves everywhere. Also, Manders with the lariat on Toon for the win. This produced an all these guys chant from the fans. Overall, I feel like this makes Manders look stronger. Funny thing, we were just talking about this earlier. I think that's what this is about. Also, Braden Toon got a little rub out of this too. So I think everybody gained something from it. There was no hiccups in this match whatsoever. With big guys, there can always be a slowdown or there can be a lull. None of that happened here. And again, Braden Toon was like the cruiserweight in this one. And I think it was the proper addition.
Yeah, I think, like as you said, during those times, especially with the size of the competitors that we had, there is a little slowdown and little like space in the match where it kind of could go with a lull in the action. But I think that's where Braden was very smartly added into. So that all those downtimes was having him flying all over the place and showcasing it
Yep.
while the others got ready for their next moves. And I loved it. I was happy with it. And I loved seeing Manders get the victory, as you put, and everything you said was, I just agree to it, because glad he ran. I loved all four competitors. I want to see it happen again. I want to see Manders versus Broner. I want to see Bishop versus Two, and I want to see it all. And I'm glad that these four got the opportunity to have this Haas match and replay that shit back again, because that was fun. And speaking of fun, into the match I was looking forward to all weekend, as it is for the GCW Tag Team Champions Championship. As the champions, Violence is Forever defends it against Injustice, Jordan Oliver and Myron Reed. And I was on the edge of my seat, and this was a fun tag match. Violence is Forever is they're strong. They've been tag champs for this long for a reason. I'm glad it makes them showcases how dominant they are. I think it's also making up for the time that they weren't in GCW, when I think we thought that they should have been in GCW a lot longer than when they did show up. At least I was always thinking that way since the moment I saw Violence is Forever. But yeah, they're just mowing down the tag division. I'm just wondering who's going to be the ones that take the belts off them. Oliver and Reed looked really, really good and strong, and like that, man, I know I said it earlier, but just as singles competitor, they grew so much, and then out to come back as a tag team, they didn't lose a step. They still got the chemistry, but now like they both are just bigger and more fluid. It just, the presentation of their tag team comes across so smooth, and I loved seeing them get this opportunity. I was on the edge of my seat, and this match delivered. It was a fun tag team title defense.
All right, so Oliver and Reed are out with matching yellow and black colors on their gear. Not matching gear, just matching colors. So I appreciate they put the effort into that. They're showing that they're a team. When Violence is Forever is involved, it's always a tough and physical match. Definitely hard hitting here, and that's what we were looking for. Violence is Forever also had an answer for everything Oliver and Reed were giving them. This was basically a battle of the more established tag team versus the lesser established tag team. Not worse, not just a lesser established at this point. They just haven't had as much time together. That's fair. Speed and youth, though, was a big benefit for Oliver and Reed in this match. Also, I always pop on Reed's cutter to the floor. Yeah, you knew I was going to say that. Violence is Forever wins with chasing. Dude, it's so impressive. I don't know how his body is going to maintain that over all these years, but he makes it look so damn good. I've watched the mechanics of it. They kind of get under him a little bit to help. It doesn't matter. You're still hitting that floor at 100, 150 pounds worth of body. I don't care how much they put underneath you. It's going to hurt.
I like how they countered it. The Violence is Forever by Guarini out back and like catching Myron before he fell and held him up. So that way the cutter never, or not. He caught he caught Kevin Koo, like to prevent him from going down to it. And then I loved it. Like as you said, I think this was a match of tag team. Like the more established team in Violence is Forever showcased their chemistry and their experience as a tag team, but the explosiveness and exciting, like for me, the exciting matchup that they provided, Violence is Forever, Myron Reed and Oliver, they just flying all over the place and kept Violence is Forever on their toes and with the unpredictable offense. And it was a fun tag match. I loved it.
And with a little under 14 minutes, Violence is Forever wins with, again, from the night before, Chasing the Dragon.
Nice. I want to give a shout out here real fast. Tom talking rubbish. What's up, party people?
Dude, Tom.
I'm going to say what's up to Tom too. I will be talking to you in about 12 hours, Tom.
Oh,
I
no
have
kidding.
My interview. Yeah, I'm doing the interview with Tom tomorrow.
Tom is awesome. 100%. I actually can't wait for mine to come out. Like, I had a really good time with him. Nice as can be. I started going back through and listening to his interviews after he did mine because what's the best way to put it? If you have podcasters that you like or people that you follow in the wrestling community, check and see if Tom maybe has already interviewed them, because I'm starting to see that he gets into the reasons why a lot of us do what we do, love what we love. And I've never had anybody really ask me personal questions, especially on a podcast. And it was very interesting because even I hadn't had a chance to maybe ask some personal questions of myself on why I do this, motivations and whatnot. And he really hit on those. I'm going to tell you, Brant, be ready, and you're going to have a good time. He's really, really nice too. Like it was just fun to talk with him.
Yeah, I saw like a little clip of I think he interviewed Phil Lindsay as well from Grapsody, and as you said, that's a wrestling podcast. Like the only other wrestling podcast I listened to a lot back when we started this podcast, and I kind of I was watching them all the time. But yeah, he actually did a little sit down and kind of talked about how it felt losing one of the big members of their podcast as he went to go work for AEW. And hearing Phil Lindsay talk about that was interesting because we haven't really heard too much from him. So I am interested to sit down and talk with Tom, talk some rubbish, but also check out his other interviews, as John was saying, the other wrestling personalities and that he's talked to. It seems like they got real in depth and got really good answers from those people. And I can't wait to check out the other ones. Can't wait to check out yours. And I can't wait to talk to him tomorrow. And hopefully it doesn't break me down too much either.
Dude, he is cool as hell. You're going to have a good time. You're a talker like I am. Time's going to go boom, just like that. I promise you. So
I just got to wake up in time for it. So we got to hurry up and end this one so I can get to bed.
Oh yeah, and also Tom is over in England, so it is, well, good morning to you over there, sir. Also, yeah, we have about 250 people in here. We just hit hour 3, and it is 1 a.m. on the East Coast, 10 p.m. on the West Coast. So we're rocking out here right now. All right, so back to what we squirreled off for a second. Did you announce Trish Adora and Haley Dillon yet, or did I not hear it? I'm a dumbass.
Not yet. So our next matchup of the evening, Trish Adora versus Haley Dillon. I didn't know too much about Haley Dillon going in, so I was kind of interested to see what would happen. I know Trish Adora, and I enjoy every time we get to see her. She's killing it in Ring of Honor, and her opportunities that she's working. She's always been out working everywhere across the world, doing a lot of cool stuff for wrestling. So I was happy to see her back in a GCW ring, and this was a good match for me. Not knowing much of Haley, she held her own there. She looked like she did a very good job with Trish, but Trish I like how her innovativeness and all these moves and the different bridges that she does and the suplexes and everything. She was really, really good. And I was glad to see Haley hold her own with Trish Adora, for me not being familiar with her.
Yeah, Haley, what I remember from her was that she had a big belly tattoo. That's the only thing I remembered from her from last time, because I was looking at it, I'm going, she's going to want to cover that off if she wants to go on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I remember that. Local wrestler. She uses the bitch as her character. Trish Adora, I've seen some. I know she works her ass off. She's not for me right now. No disrespect to any fans or just not for me. I wrote here that there was a lot of German suplexes in this match, and I wrote down that Trish Adora picks up the win. I am so sorry for me. There wasn't a lot in this. I know, Brent, you're laughing. Every now and then I get hit with this, just wasn't for me. And this was a rare one that it was okay. It was a local match, and they threw Trish Adora in to make it more of something. And even Trish wasn't able to spread her wings and fly in this one, because I think she was a little, she was holding back some, given the circumstances.
I agree.
So I just wanted to be fair about that. I don't dislike either of them. No, you're good, brother. I don't dislike either of them whatsoever. It's just, this is more of a local match, and that's okay.
That's how I ultimately walked away with it. I was like, hey, nice to see Trish again. Haley, like, I still don't know much of. Like, it was just I agree with you. It was a match, but I thought it was a good match. And Haley, like I said, to me, held her own with a name that I'm way more familiar with. And Trish Adora showcased what she is, what she's known for, and what she can do. So I wasn't too disappointed in this
we got
chapter.
shit starting. We won't let
Oh,
it
I
start,
agree.
but Trisha Dora is
I
better than
agree.
Mercedes. See, I'm not
I
watching AEW right now. I'm hearing though that Monet's stuff is not falling where she wants it to right now. So
she's never connected with me. Like I don't know. Like I think
really,
I have always thought Mercedes is way overrated, and she's just in her own character. Like she's just into herself and everything. So I agree. I think there's a lot of wrestlers out there that are better than Mercedes, but she just has the flash, and she's good. But I prefer a lot of other wrestlers out there more than Mercedes, and Trish Adora would be one of them for me. All right. Our next matchup is a title match, as it is for the unsanctioned pro heavyweight title, as the champion Charlie Tiger defends it against Big Beef, Jeffrey John, and the Swinger. I will kind of take what you just said about that last match. That was me for this match. This one was like, like for me, why was this on GCW? Like, I don't like Charlie Tiger, Jeff. Like, I don't like. He's the reason this match was on GCW. I get we always have like the scrambles in the local. This was a spot for the local match, and I just wasn't into this match. It was good. It
that's
was like
okay.
got to see some names. Yeah, it was good to sell some names that I'm familiar with. I don't think I've seen the Swinger. I think that was like the one new one. I was happy
he
to see
doesn't even have a he doesn't even have a cage match profile, so it's one of those more like
yeah,
the Swinger.
So I was like, I saw this match. I'm like, okay, like that. Like for me, this one was just a match. I didn't have any feelings with it. It was nice seeing a couple names again, but it was a match. It was good.
I got
A good
you.
showcase for Charlie Tiger, and it was good showcase for the unsanctioned pro on GCW platform.
There you go. I think that's the most important part. They came to Columbus unsanctioned. This is unsanctioned pros territory, so of course they're going to have a women's, and then they're going to go ahead and have that pro heavyweight title. Which, hey, it's cool they were able to put it on there. But again, some of the names to us are more JCW names. We do see Babushka every now and then. Yeah. That's my boy Columbus. He's from Columbus, so that's kind of cool. He got great chance when he came out. I really found that interesting. Now he has a much more passionate fan base than he did a year ago, and that's always a good sign. That's maybe what I wanted to say. There were lots of big guys in the ring, always something I like. I remember Beef. I will say in the face, though, he looks like he may be related to Shane Mercer. Feel free to check that one out. The Swinger, I just put ... Charlie Tiger always bringing the intensity. I think that matters. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I've seen that it doesn't matter what show you're at, Charlie still tries to bring that same intensity to the match, and I always do appreciate that. So, I give him that much, that at least he's always trying to bring the heat with him. So he pulls off the win with a pile driver on the Swinger. A little less than an 8-minute match. It was more, it's just a local match, and we're GCW guys. So yeah, it was good to see them defend. It was good to see the defense of the title on the show.
That was my big takeaway. Like, I didn't know Charlie Tiger was their champion, and for him to have a title match on GCW, I thought that was cool. Like, that was the one thing that kind of made me pay attention to this match. Like, oh, let's see what Charlie Tiger's been doing as of late, outside of JCW. So that was kind of cool, knowing that he's with them and a champion. So that's my big takeaway from this match. Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'll just say it real quick. Allie comes out for commentary. There we go. And now we're on to the main event. Or wait, is this the main? No, there's holy crap. Oh, yeah. This was wonderful. The matches were kind of rolling into each other. I love when this happens. All right, there we go, man. I just had to say Allie's now out on commentary just to give everyone a picture of what's going on at the show.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I like how these last two just flowed into one big giant segment, and it made a lot of sense and didn't stop the show at all. Next match.
Oh my gosh. If I was not married, I would marry. Wow, here we go. Tight spots. Okay, well.
See, that was another match I wasn't too happy about. Willow losing to Mercedes either, but oh well.
I won't go too far into it, but I do have strong feelings that Willow has an it factor that I hope that they really do something with. I think she's really good with kids.
She has a connection for sure.
Yeah, so wishing her the best too, by all means.
Yeah. Next match of GCW's Paranoid was Effie versus Broski Jimmy. And I will piggyback off because I have a couple notes on this one and I think a couple overlap with yours. So I'll piggyback off of you.
You sure?
Yeah, yeah.
You sure you don't want to call your shots and get them in real quick?
No.
Okay. I was just giving you that chance there. All right. So Effie was out first. We had loud Effie chants. Big wrestling is gay fans. Everybody started bringing out their fans so you can see them fanning. I love that. I love those fans. I'm just going to say my wife bought one with that hot ass Las Vegas show that we had 2 years ago. And that fan was really necessary. Jimmy was being a total dick to the fans. He got in the guy's face. I thought the whole thing was good, and I hope he does that more. Effie with the woo, 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 all blow it chant, I thought was absolutely different than anything I've ever heard before. I love when Effie does the my boots stuck while he chokes his opponent on the top rope. I can never think of the name of that move. Fuck you, Jimmy, from the fans while Lloyd is choking out Effie. Effie's changed his character to more of a wrestling focused character. And I'm starting to say it's hard to argue. This is his best work. It's fun for him to go out there and be gay and fun, but it's also great for him to go out there and be gay and like really seriously going into his character. And we're getting some of the, I'd have to say this is the best Effie we've seen, period, in his career.
Oh, yeah. I think so
same can be said with Jimmy Lloyd. So, I'm just sorry to cut you off. It's just the same can be said with Jimmy Lloyd, except the focus on improvement has been on the overall, not just wrestling focused. So I can say Jimmy really has upped his game on the mic. He's upped his game in ring. Again, Jimmy's always had to be Jimmy. Now he has to be the Cardona character, and he's really risen to that. I really like it a lot. He definitely seems a lot more comfortable with the fans, too. He rolls with the punches better now that Cardona's given him some things to say, respect me and blah, blah, blah. So that's worked out well. Mance pulls up a seat next to Allie and jumps on commentary. Moments later, Mance attacks Allie. Allie is now down on the ground. Effie is distracted. Lloyd takes over. Another minute later, Joey comes out while Lloyd is trying to hit Effie with the belt. Joey steals the belt. Effie with a sack rider for the win. And again, a lot of action packed into only 8.5 minutes here, but Effie pulls off that win. Do you have any comments before we?
Yeah, for me, like Jimmy, was kind of like the star, and just his heel work, as you were saying, even losing, I think this just gets him better. Like losing as of right now does not hurt him. It's kind of actually better for the character. So that way he can always act like this big old cocky guy because he has Cardona as his backup and general manager, but still can't get the victories. And I just think Jimmy's excelling now and his character work's coming through. And Effie, this match with Effie, and each segment, Jimmy is just improving. And I think he's been a big deal for this whole story and the Cardona stuff to keep it going. And as you said, I think he's got the confidence now from Cardona to now know what to do or say when he gets in a pinch or maybe might fumble or get flustered and not know what to say. He's got really good heel mannerisms now to take the control back from the crowd and further the story along through his promos. And I'm happy to see it. And Mance pulling out Allie, when I heard Mance on commentary, I was like, oh shit, this ain't going to be good. And I'm kind of glad it led to what it led to. And I thought that was cool. And as you said, it rolled right into the next match, which I'm always a big fan of. And it just makes sense right now.
Yeah, I felt like Jimmy just didn't have much to say. And now that Jimmy has something to say, it's really brought it out of him. So I just kind of wanted to, I don't know. It's just Jimmy was always Jimmy. And now that Jimmy has a focus or he has a direction, it's brought a lot more out of it. It's just like any kid you have laying around the house. If the kid gets a job and he has a direction, he's going to be better off and he grows as an individual. And that's what we have here. Oh boy. So Man's still on stage with Allie. He has the screwdriver. Alec Price from behind. He dives from the stage with a crossbody onto Mance. We have a match. Effie moves to commentary, which I think is genius because we get to know now what Effie's thinking while his enemy is fighting his friend. I thought that was just a wonderful idea. They fight towards merch. You can actually see Trish Adora move her shit and walk off camera, which again, fans, if you see something coming your way, grab your shit and move. I wish. Yeah.
J Rose. Where's J Rose at?
Yeah, that's where we need J Rose in this situation. They're fighting in the balcony. Mance attempts pushing him off. Instead, Alec falls down the steps. You can see where he falls down the steps, hits the landing, walks on all fours to the next set of steps, and then rolls down him again. Mance grabs a mic. Fuck Columbus. Effie, fuck you too. I'm going home. And that's where Mance just starts walking out of the venue. Alec then follows, catches him, brings him back to the ring. He's beating on him the whole time, and Alec starts with the GCW chants. Mance is seated outside the ring. Alec runs a circle in the whole place for a clothesline. They eventually make it to the ring. Oh, and now the bell rings. So we officially have a match for our main event. Like we were saying, these are flowing seamlessly together, and I love it. So here we go then to our main event.
As it is Alec Price going against Mance Warner. Wasn't Brett on commentary for this match as well? So I thought I remember like him kind of, I remember him saying like, oh, there's the bell. Finally, we can start this match like after all the chaos that has already happened. And then I like what he says later too, like when people kind of questioning, like we're seeing a different side of Alec here. Can he live up to the intensity and match Mance with that and fight back? And like Brett's like, yeah, he's from the mean streets of Boston. He grew up fighting and everything else. So that kind of like layered into what was going on with Alec. And we saw a totally different Alec than we've ever seen before. And I was happy to see a more street fight Alec instead of just relying on the high flying stuff. This was a different stylistic matchup than we haven't seen Alec really do. And I thought he shined and excelled in this moment to be in a main event with Mance Warner, who's probably the biggest heel right now. I thought this was a big chance for Alec to showcase and shine out, and he absolutely stepped it up. He went above and beyond than what I expected to see from him during this kind of matchup, and I was glad to see him deliver a different style matchup than we're used to seeing him.
So one of the things that I loved about this, the fans were helping Alec get the weapons. I love it. Ever since Gage did it in LA, it's just been fun. Effie says this is GCW family. As people are pulling out chairs and doors. All right, so chairs and doors are everywhere. Let's fast forward. Alec really has the upper hand. If you've watched any of Alec's Beyond matches, you would know this mess that you see around the ring is his style. He's an ECW brawl around the ring venue kind of type. There's shit everywhere. It looks like a 5-year-old that played with all of his toys and just left them there. And I mean that with 1,000% respectability. He's using everything at his disposal to beat his opponent. Wouldn't you? So once Mance gets the upper hand, he starts yelling at Effie that he's going to beat on his friend Alec. He starts crushing Alec's midsection with a chair. At some point then, like you were saying here, Brett gets on the mic. Him and Effie start selling the shit out of the upcoming show, and they did a good job on it too. They don't kind of sugarcoat it. It's just like, no, we're here to talk about this, and this. I like that it's straightforward. Referee Perch was almost taken out. Don't hurt the Perch. Alec having a hard time, almost frustrated, trying to put Mance away. He props a door in the corner. Mance headbutts Alec against the door. Mance misses. Alec DDTs Mance through a door at a 45-degree angle, which looked absolutely awesome. Alex then says he's going to kill Mance. Mance is completely out. But then Mance keeps throwing Alec towards Perch to knock him down, and it did not work. So Mance knocks Perch out himself. Again, stop hurting Perch. Mance then grabs the mic. Dude, yeah, I mean, come on now. Be nice to these guys. They're good guys. Mance grabs the mic. He says Effie can't touch him. Shut the fuck up. Chants are coming from the crowd. He said he's going to kill Alec. Mance then starts to basically kill Alec with a chair. Alec is willing to die for his friend, he said. Mance hits Alec, and he's in pain. You can actually hear him screaming out loud from the shot that went on. Mance says he's going to hurt them all of his friends. Effie and Mance then get face to face. They start yelling at each other. Brett is asking Effie to show restraint. Effie's going nuts watching his friend just get destroyed. Alec was then chokeslammed through a bunch of chairs. Mance can't get Effie to take the bait, so he pulls out a screwdriver. You see all the referees run to ringside to try to stop it. Alec then takes a nasty shot to the forehead, and you can see he's bleeding now. Effie comes to the ring. He drags away Alec. Effie and Mance face off. They're yelling at each other. there's no mic, so I can't tell what's being said. I have to look at the crowd reaction to know what's going on. We close the show face to face. I feel like it's good tension. It's a great cliffhanger for next week. I will say well done by all hands on deck to sell this match. Our winner here was, I believe, this one went to a no contest. Am I correct on that one?
I'll be honest,
Yeah,
I
no
don't even know if
contest at
there was
18
announced
minutes.
winner with all the craziness
Dude,
at the end.
I don't know, man. I honestly, I went and had to look it up. It was a no contest. It was eventually called, but I don't know when it was called. There was so much going on and I was typing so fast. It could have been sad and I didn't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was very well produced and a perfect way to end the show to, as you said, a cliffhanger for next week. And yeah, I'm interested now with all the craziness and chaos. What's going to happen not only with them, what's going to happen with the title? Is Mance going to have a say in the title still after FE? TOS is going to be fun. And that's what this is, all this shit outside of TOS itself. So next weekend is going to be a blast. But I think, as you said, all the hands, everybody that was on commentary, the refs, the talent, everybody did a great job to make sure everyone knows at home how important next week's show is and like who the focus should be on Mance and Effie, and not take any of the focus away off anyone else. Even Alec going out there and showcasing and fighting like how he did and having a great match still takes a side seat to put over Mance. But Alec, especially if he didn't get the loss, and that's another victory, I guess, for him, as he looked well and not a defeat. But I think is going to be Effie and Mance is going to be something else next week, and I'm finally glad to see it. Hopefully, possibly end, maybe even goes further. Who knows? But Cage's Revival, I think, would be the best and perfect way to end this feud and not have anybody else get involved with it. So we will see what happens next week.
I already had a little sneak peek of what happens. Someone told me about it. You want to know?
No.
So inside the cage, no, you need to know this. This is amazing. No, it's all made up, dude. I was gonna say that I thought it would be funny for Blue Cane to come out from underneath the, like rip open the fucking canvas, come through and grab Mance and bring him down to blue hell or whatever they have now. So, I don't know. I also called the finger poke of doom tonight during a match. So, don't trust me, but yeah, that was, I think, again, that was a pretty good show. Columbus showed up. Paranoid was awesome. Anything else you can think of before we go into the upcoming shows at all? We're running, baby. We're 2.5 hours in.
Yeah, strong weekend. Very strong shows. Cards up and down all night. The production, the way the matches flowed in between was awesome. I love this weekend. It was good. This one felt like a GCW, but it also, as you said, got the cliffhangers, got the teases where I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And like I said, I'm more excited for everything not named TOS that's happening on TOS weekend. So I think next weekend is going to be special, and I can't wait to see what we have in store for the GCW World title and what Cardona has up his sleeve as the general manager next week.
And it was even sold WWE style by Brett and Effie.
Oh yeah,
with that selling of the next show, that was totally sports entertainment style.
Yep.
All right, so on to our upcoming shows. Here we are with June 1st. This will be GCW's Tournament of Survival 9 from the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. We have 8 entrants that are going to be in this tournament. 7 out of 8 have been announced. We have Yuki Ishikawa, Hideyoshi Kamitani, Big F and Joe, Shunma Katsumata, John Wayne Murdoch, Ultramantis Black, Brandon Kirk, and one name to be announced. I have to run and grab something real quick. Is it okay if you maybe give us what your thought is on entrant number 8, and I'll be right back? So sorry.
Yeah, good. No, you're good. Right. So my original thought was Drew Parker. I said this last week. I thought it'd be really cool for him to kind of show up as a surprise and return to GCW during TOS. When I saw this announcement, I did get excited for Drew Parker, but then somebody out there wrote that he will be participating in, I believe it's TNT's deathmatch tournament next week in England. So, or in the UK, I think. So unfortunately, it seems like my pick that I wanted to be showing up in GCW at TOS is not there. So I don't think he's going to be able to make it. Drew Parker. So I don't know. I want to go, I guess, off of what you were saying. One of the Los Macizos. I'd be happy with one of them if they're getting their visa issues. Los Macizos would be one that I would hopefully be the TBA. My original pick was Drew, but someone wrote that he's in a tournament, so I don't think it is going to
Yeah.
be Drew, unfortunately. So my other last hope, I guess, is somebody from Los Macizos.
Yeah. All right. I'm still going with Cruel. I'm sticking with it. I feel like he would do great at GCW. This is a tournaments based, blood based event. This isn't a technical, you know what I mean? This is exactly where I feel like he would fit in. And again, we have a lot of Japanese talent. I'm with you here. I'd like to see one more domestic, basically because I feel like the American deathmatch scene needs to be represented better. We only have so many in it. And yeah, so I'm happy to see Murdoch there. I went and watched some Ultra Mantis Black stuff. I'm still trying to figure that character out. Not sure really yet. Yeah, big fucking Joe and John. Okay, so here's how it works. John Wayne Murdoch is pretty much in the semifinals or finals of every tournament he's in. So whatever bracket he's in, expect John Wayne Murdoch to roll through it. I'm just letting you know he generally does. What were you saying here? Great one. He said, I hate to Saturday, and that rules Cruel out. Yeah, I have a feeling that's what's going on there. But that was my pick. I'm with you, Brant. One of the Macizos I think would be amazing, and it would be a nice comeback. I'm stumped. Maybe somehow Tremont comes out of nowhere, but if it was a name like that, I feel like we would have known it ahead of time.
And we haven't seen him in a while too. Yeah.
I miss him.
I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go. Like I said, my TOS this year is kind of down more than I'm looking forward to COS, and now with the Gauntlet new champion being crowned, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. But I am excited to see some new names perform some ultra violence on TOS. So I'm excited to see the ultra violence, but like the name, just as we said last week, the name value for me is just not doing it. But
yeah,
oh well.
Well, that's okay. And you know what? I think I was saying this on another podcast, and I mentioned on here last week. This happened last year too. There were a ton of Japanese names last year. Most of them I did not know who they were. And by the end of the event, I'm like, okay, I see why they were picked for the event. So hopefully this is broadening us out a little, but I feel like it's broadening us so much we might be missing out on a couple names that are have more name value. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe there's a couple new stars to be made. I'm always open to that. So we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of people there that are favorites that are missing on that list of mine personally. Never know. All right. You want me to go ahead and do the announcements then for Cage of Survival 3? All right. So on June 2nd, GCW's Cage of Survival 3 from the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The main event here, I believe, will be Effie versus Mance Warner in the Cage of Survival. I don't know how or where that's going to go. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, we have the Matt Cardona Invitational Gauntlet for the GCW World Championship. We will have a new champion crowned. That will be extremely exciting. And then lastly, we do have Megan Bain and Speedball Mike Bailey announced for the show. No matches as of yet. Again, that's on June 2nd, GCW's Cage of Survival. What's your thoughts on that one? Anything else that we haven't said?
No, I'm interested to see if it's just gonna be like COS, if it's just gonna be a gauntlet going into it, like just series of matches, or are they gonna have like tag matches, other death matches and stuff? I'm just interested to see how the card's gonna play out.
I'm interested to see if they're going to announce gauntlet entrance beforehand, but it looks like they're not right now. Because I'd love to know, hey, these 4 people or these 6 people. I'd also like to know, like you and I just fantasy booked 8. Like, how many are in it? 6, 5, 4, 10?
I like the surprises too, though. But I think to build up a little bit more hype for this, they should announce some names.
Well, okay. Let's be fair. Should the Extreme title come off of Maki then if she's not defending it?
That's what I was saying earlier. Get rid of Maki, get rid of Rita. Let's start fresh under Cardona then if you're going to do this, because the other Blake's defended it a lot more than anyone else has defended it. So,
and he got stripped.
The ultraviolet title's been defended twice this year. One in a non-ultraviolet death match, and the other one was Other than that, we haven't seen that ultra. Like, I don't know. I don't. It's too late. I don't want to go on another rant and spree here, but
Well, this
I
past
honestly, yeah, I would do strip those two more than before I would have done Blake.
I'm not, I'm just saying, to help get some answers, it would be nice. We just had a weekend with no championship defenses. That's a glaring issue. And it just so happened. What's that again, brother?
The tag titles.
Oh, yeah. Tag titles. My bad.
But that's it. Like, that's what I mean. It's just been the world and tag titles. We haven't had an extreme defense. We haven't had an ultra violent defense in all year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, it was the weekend before this last one was the one where there were two shows, no title defenses. So yeah, that's a glaring, and I think that needs to be addressed in some way. Giving Maki the extreme title just because it looks cute, that's up to you. But if you're going to give her the title because it looks cute and send her to Japan, you need to at least bring one title home, like the ultraviolent, so we can defend it on American soil. I'm just saying, because otherwise, having a title that never reaches onto our show but once every couple months is just as good as not having a title.
And I think that's what's kind of hurting me for TOS this weekend. That lack of ultra-violent title defenses and opponents. Like, maybe I could have seen Rena defend against one of these these other people. Then I would know more and get more excited for TOS. But she's barely defended it this year. And throughout her whole title run, like last year, she's on almost year 2 of this run. Last year, she defended it like 12 times. That's once a month. Yeah. I guess that's like the bare minimum what I expect for a champion. At least defend it once a month. But I think the lack of ultra-violent title defenses and seeing new challengers that are possibly could be in TOS, I'm just not excited for TOS as I normally am on a weekend, on a TOS weekend, and that's kind of disappointing. I think I might be checking out past ones this year, going into it just to get my hype up, but I don't know if it's going to match. I think it might disappoint me seeing Takeda and Jun Kasai and all these other names that we've seen in years past, and then now we
half the roster is like the name value on half the tournament. We don't know.
And I think it's going to set me up for disappointment. So I don't know. Like there's a lot of different things I'd be doing a little bit differently. Don't show that one. Get that one out.
No. There's just somebody trying to promote something. I was trying to kick it out of here. That's okay. We have people promoting every now and then. Yeah, the name value is a little off. So I'm remaining hopeful because last year I felt the same way. I remember that in Patreon and GCW, they were like, hey, who do you guys want to see in the event? And I remember all the names that got listed. And then the names that got listed last year were like half of them, nobody even mentioned. Like the hardcore fans didn't mention. But then again, it ended up working out really well. Yeah, we seem to have this weird obsession with Japan. It's very interesting. So who knows? I just want to know what GCW is getting out of it in the long run, because I mean, like I said before, DDT now has access to the entire American wrestling market, which is fantastic, but we're going over there. We're hitting an island. And I know it's romanticized. I'm just being fair. I know Japan is romanticized as this place where, but let's be honest, if they don't come off the island and start coming to the United States, they're in their own bubble. So you got to look at that too. So it's Japan, it's the Japanese wrestlers and companies that need to actually get to America, not the other way around. Just letting everyone know that right now, man. If you're on an island for 75 years, I mean, hey, the internet, now people are going, hey, Wrestle Kingdom, hey this, hey that. That's great. But I don't know. I just can I promote something? It's called GCW, the Real Tight Spot. Okay, yeah. I'll get out of that. I'm just saying that there is a lot of romanticizing on an island nation. And that's fair because what they do over there is a different style, a different way of doing things. But unless GCW is getting something out of it that I don't know of, I'm trying to see where GCW gets something out of this, except for maybe a trip to Japan, which they're already in Kurikan Hall. Their name value alone gets them to Kurikan now. Or at least first ring Shiba, whatever.
See, I think there's two people that would make me pop if they do show up at TOS now. Chris Brooks or Mao from DDT to kind of set up something in DDT in August. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
Oh, you're talking like towards the end of the show, maybe Brooks comes in and Mao comes in and maybe.
Well, no, like they're the 8th. They're the 8th.
Oh, okay. Now, does Brooks do death matches?
Like, I think from what I've seen a little bit in DDT, they're not like light tubes and shit. But I mean, he was the
Right.
one who introduced the bins
Oh,
list
the
at the
bins.
collective. Yeah, so I know he's down to get. It looks like he's down to get violent, but it just looks like maybe they use different style weapons over there than out here. Same with Mao, but I think Mao I've seen do tubes and stuff too. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Those two names would get me super invested into TOS, but I think like what you were saying, like what GCW was getting out of the older relationship with Freedoms is we would get a Takeda in GCW and in American soil. We would get a Kobayashi. We would get Jun Kasai. We would get all these names that are big, good death matches, but we would get those out here. Like then we would be doing it. Like these names, I think aren't doing it for me. Where before, I don't mind bring a Takeda over. Do whatever he needs to do for that to happen. I don't care, but I kind of agree with you. These name values is like, what is it really doing for GCW? Where before I could argue your point of, hey, we get Takeda. I don't care what happens after that point.
Right.
But now we
Right.
don't.
Well, I'm just saying, how do I get excited on some of these names? Because I, as an independent wrestling fan, don't know some of them. So I'm remaining hopeful, but I'm just being honest. By the card alone, I'm going by the company GCW and what they deliver more than these names and what they deliver. I love Big F and Joe, and I love Murdoch. Those are two that I know for sure I'm going to be getting behind. Always have, always will. So I'm just being fair. We are GCW fans, and it's hard to go, well, we don't. No, it's okay to just be like, who are these people? Hopefully
I'm
they
going
do
for
well.
Kirk.
So open-minded. Oh,
Out
Brandon
of these
Kirk.
7, that's the one I'm rooting for this year is Brandon Kirk. I think he deserves it.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, I got a good one for you since we're towards the end of the show. Who's actually done the most matches this year at GCW? This year, 2024. For fun.
Cole.
You're right.
Oh,
Cole Radrick's actually done
my
the
hands
most.
Were down. I was off the
No,
top
you're
of my
good.
head.
Yeah. Cole Radrick's had the most matches at GCW right now this year at 23. Second is Joey Janela at 20. And then match for third and fourth would be Alec Price and Broski Jimmy at 19.
I was about to say Jimmy. Jimmy was.
So that tells you a little bit. Yeah, man. And, quite a few of these names are the same names. If you go back to 2023, you're going to see the same names up top too. You get your Jordan Oliver, your Cole Radrick, Effie, Ali, Blake Christian, Joey Janela, those kind of. I just had to whip it out here because I had the stats in front of me. So let's see here if there's anything else. Sorry, I'm just looking to see. I was looking at the tournament winners. Yeah, Rina Yamashita should be in this. She should be.
I wonder if
previous winner.
If that could be a mystery there.
I'm not against it. She's working right now for sure.
Oh yeah, that's why I went back and I looked. I'm like, Maki Rina has been working and active, holding these titles, but all outside of GCW as our title. Like, yeah, whatever. Right. It's too late. But I saw that too. It's like, oh my gosh.
So it sounds like having those two titles are not for the fans as much as they're for the advancement of the company, which is fair. But what did the fans get to watch? So we have our tag title, we have our world championship, and that's it primarily, correct?
Tag.
Yeah. So, yeah. Like I said, maybe 2 weekends ago was something glaring to see that, hey, we had a whole weekend and not a single person defended a title. So maybe that has to be gotten under control somehow.
And even the JCW titles kind of not being defended either with Masha. Like she hasn't been around as often as normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Effie made a good point about this, I think months ago, where he said he would really like to see a lot of the GCW titles on true independent talent, which is hard to find, but you see, look at you automatically pop. You're like, yeah, I think GCW as the #1 independent company in the world should be making sure that the independent talent are pushed to the top of the mountain there. Is it really fair to elevate someone who goes to ROH and loses all the time? I mean, that's really, what does that say about us? So those are things that I think are worth, and again, I mean, we're playing with AEW. I don't know how much AEW is playing with us, but if they're supposed to be for the independents, they're not. So fuck them. What they really did was they completely fleeced the independents of their talent so that WWE wouldn't have any prospects for the next couple years. That backfired. And here we are. So, I mean, we have a lot of those ROH people. I'd like to see him work more in GCW. Why not?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't think Tony's really playing along, because if we did, I feel like we would see a lot more Moxley down there right now. And it's really funny because if you actually do a count on how many people get injured, more people get injured at AEW than they do at GCW. And it's funny because our reputation is the opposite.
Yeah.
Wow. I got into my shit at the last part of the show here, but I don't know. I had to get that out there, but I mean, that's the dead honest truth. It's like, okay, you don't want to work with GCW, or maybe you do. I don't know. And Brett has said he's never heard anything saying that, but it's just like, if you look at it, the ROH independent talent can do whatever they want, but it seems like the AEW talent don't come down here. Why? I mean, shit, I don't see stretchers coming out every weekend, at GCW, but I definitely see injuries constantly on a once a month pay-per-view. Yeah. So who's the safer workers? Let's just be honest, because both work with weapons. Who's the safer workers? Maybe they should have fleeced a little bit harder, because what seems to be going on right now is the people that weren't picked are flourishing, and the ones who were picked are sitting on their ass and catering. So I don't know. I'm hoping that whole situation gets figured out at AEW, because I think they're extremely important to the wrestling business. We need to have that there. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of go off on that one for a minute, but yeah, I feel that the GCW is not getting the handshake maybe they should be getting in certain areas, and I don't think they're getting the respect that they should also be getting. They go, "Oh, well, this is a deathmatch company, dude." It ain't even a deathmatch company anymore. This is more of a variety company more than anything else. Like I said, you blink, you got Micro. You blink again, you got Lucha. You blink again, you got fucking Japanese talent coming from across the ocean. Like, there are deathmatch companies now, strictly, and we need to just respect them as who they are. They're at their level, they do their thing, and we just respect them as such. But I also feel that if GCW is going to go this route, when they do a deathmatch, then they need to show, as the number one independent company, that we're going to do it better than anyone else. So if we're going to do a death match of any kind, a hardcore match of any kind, I hope that we put a lot of thought into that and bring a story to the forefront like Gage likes to do, so that when we do it right, instead of being made fun of because this reason or that reason. Because like I said, seems to be a lot more gurneys coming out of AEW than there is a GCW. We did really good with Nick Wayne. We did great with Nick Wayne. Week 1, he's fucking busted open on a TV show. Week 2 or 3, he's got his fucking tooth missing. Now let's think about that. Who's safer? So these are things worth thinking about. And I think that says a lot to the professionalism of the talents that are working at both companies, because I see both of them taking risks too. But, that's another conversation for another day. So how you feeling, man? Everything's good. I think we covered everything. We did well. This is probably our longest show we've had of the Body Slam era.
Yeah, I'm about to go to bed and get up and talk to Tom Rubbish tomorrow.
Great one also mentioned here just for a moment that I think it would be a bit weird if DDT has a surprise entrance, considering they're already sending Shunma, which I'm not even big on Japanese, but I know Shunma is one of the big ones over there. So what he's basically saying is they're sending not their Hogan, but their Macho Man or Undertaker. So
he's trying to put a damper on my damn Mao and Chris Brooks. That's what he's trying to do. Give me my hopes, damn it. Somebody already ruined Drew Parker for me. Don't ruin those two for me, because then I ain't gonna watch TOS at this point. Just kidding. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. I see where you're at, though. You're looking at name recognition and going, plus you had a lot of hopes and dreams of who may have been in, so I'm just going to remain positive. I did it last year and it ended up being good. Would I have liked other names here and there? Yeah, but you know what? It's not my money. It's not my pick, and they don't do it for me. They do it for everyone. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Rock and roll, brother. We ready to do this?
Yeah, so those of you that are still here, if you missed it at the beginning of the show, after we do our Long Live GCW, I will end it on the intro, our new intro. I'll make it an outro as well, so we can start doing Long Live GCW and then go right into that, and then we will end it. But we do have a new intro and outro from Fire J Media. Ivan on GCW's video team hooked us up with a fire intro, and so we will play that out as we leave. And we did it. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Let's
you know
get
what?
him out of here.
I also want to say thank you. Thank you to GCW for allowing them to basically let us have Fire J Media to help us out in this situation. They did not have to, and Ivan did not have to do any work for us. That's awesome. He's a great guy. What else are you thinking?
No, I was gonna say I got the
I was just
video
gonna say
before
thanks
I
to
even
Brett.
paid for
Brett's
it.
been awesome to us.
Like I
Did you?
talked to him. I was like, dude, like, because he's like, I got openings. I'm like, can you make one for us? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I don't get paid till the 25th, so I'll have to pay you then. And then I already got the video before I even paid him. So yeah, big shout out to Ivan J for quickly and expeditedly doing that intro video. And we love it and awesome. We're gonna get we're gonna have a little talk here. We're gonna get the old Game Changer logo hopefully back to have it match our intro and outro, as we kind of do like that at the end of the video. So maybe we'll get that logos back in the lettering.
So you're going to run it. Do you want to end the stream then, or do you want me to end the stream on my side?
I'll do it.
The videos? Okay, cool.
I can do it.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening tonight. We love you. There was damn near 300 of us in here at 2 in the morning on the East Coast. Fuck yes. All right. Yeah, it's almost 11 p.m. on the West Coast. Thank you so much. Yeah, please check out the video. We're very fortunate to have Fire J fucking come through for us. I mean, he's doing stuff for GCW. We had to get the okay. Brand obviously surprised me with it. I had no idea this shit was going on, and it's so cool. So yeah.
No, harder was not to send it to you after seeing it the first like 50 times. I was like, I gotta send this to John. I was like, no, I'm gonna surprise him.
Did you see my head? Like, yeah, the minute I was like,
well, I saw it like when I did the fake mix up, and you're like, huh, okay. And then like, okay, here we get. Oh wait, that's me. Like I saw it. You're like, wait, that's different. Like this is something real. And like that's when I got to see it. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next Tuesday
with a lot to talk about, hopefully.
All righty, here. You ready to roll, brother?
All right, here we go.
Long.
Okay, there we go.
That was pretty good. Live. Oh shit, that's pretty good. G
C dub.
W. Have a great night, y'all. Yeah, check out this video.
Here we go.